everybody? Welcome back. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about everything that you need to know about this season's Mythic Plus Dungeons. In Midnight Season 2, there
Yo, what up, Theo? Raw shot. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Grandpa. I think I'm Wrestle Shaman and Ellie. Tell your guild, tell your guild to shut up that you're going Ellie, dog. Say, I'm going Ellie, you crazy son of a, you little butts, little boots. So I don't really care about overcharge, huh? I wanna track flowing. That means you're talking about the guys? No, I'm about to watch something right now, bro. Theo, do you think my UI is ugly, good, or a masterpiece? Or don't care? Functional. Don't care. Like if I were to charge for my UI, do I do $1, $2, or $3? What do you think it's worth? You think 5? So like subs only? Everything in life is $5? Yeah, including gas. $5 a gallon, baby. Everything in life is $5 except back in the day, Domino's had a $5 pizzas and they never brought it back again. $5 footlongs are gone too. It's like 4.30 here in Chicago. I'm pretty sure California is like $6. All right, let me see. We can look it up. Highest gas prices in NA. There's a place in California at 557, Hawaii's 540, Washington 519, Alaska 484, Nevada. Why is Nevada? I guess Las Vegas. $4 nationwide, bro. Criminal.
there is a fairly low-tech season, but with that being the case, we still have bosses,
Low tech season? What do you say?
that you need to know about this season's Mythic Plus Dungeons. In Midnight Season 2, there is a fairly low-tech season, but with that being the case, we still
How does he know it's a low tech season?
have bosses, trash pulls, specific packs that you should be doing. doing together for all 8 dungeons. And with that being the case, we're going to take some time today to talk about all 8 dungeons. Now, the goal of this video is to where you can reference it right before you jump into, say, your dungeon. So say you're walking up to...
Because WoW is now a low tech game? No, it's not. Where I live, it's $8. For what? A gallon of gas?
A King's Rest. This is supposed to be a video where you click on the specific chapter for King's Rest. You watch it right beforehand. That way you understand what is possible, what can be skipped, and
Oh my, where do you live? Fucking Iceland?
maybe my experiences.
Somewhere hard to get gas? Antarctica? Spain? How much is... Oh my God! What is the average salary of a Spain resident? Do you guys get paid a lot? In USD. Oh shit! You guys don't even get paid a lot. You guys are brokies and gas is $8 a gallon? Why is gas so expensive in Spain? Spain gas prices over 10 years. In USD. And gallons. This is criminal. Who speaks liters? So we have the prices you had in 2016. Oh my God. GG's, bro. What the hell? This is a real winner, right? How much is a gallon of milk in Spain? Bro, $5 for a gallon of milk? Ah, yo, your country is doomed, buddy. Doomed. Since the Hormuz crisis, price increased about 50%. That's right. Guess who's getting rich? It ain't the people getting rich, dog.
Throughout the duration of the PTR. I've put in probably over 100 dungeon runs on the PTR, so I'm fairly experienced in regards to what's going to be happening. And we're going to be talking about the tech, we're going to be talking about the tips, we're going to be talking about the tricks, we're going to be talking about everything that you need to know.
Talk about everything.
And now with this being the case, a lot of times there are some add-ons or weak auras that I've previously kind of given out to people or recommended some packs.
Yeah, but they're gone now.
This season, EX Boss was very instrumental in Season 1. I did message the creator of EX Boss and X-Win Tools and was asking about like what's going on with the Season 2 update. He basically went on to say that while he thinks it's possible to return EX Boss to what it was in Season 1, at the same time, he's been having a little bit of problems due to Blizzard's add-on restrictions. So if you're looking for an EX Boss profile, I'm going to get it to you the moment that it's available, but as it currently stands, I don't have any additional add-on resources for this season's Mythic Plus dungeons.
Damn.
And another common trend that we're actually seeing this season as well is that this is actually a fairly low-tech season. There's not that many snaps. There's not that many, like, weird skips.
There's not that many snaps yet, dog. Nobody knows all the snaps and skips week 1. Homie. They all get discovered when the season's almost over, midway through the season.
Obviously, tech evolves as the season goes on, and you find out new and weird strategies, which will be covered on this channel.
Oh, okay.
But as a whole, this does seem like it's a fairly low-tech season. And if you enjoy Mythic Plus content or just World of Warcraft...
My bad. I always get to the conclusion before I let people speak, right? Like, the downside of having my brain is like when somebody says a sentence to me, I already know what they're gonna say in the first 2 seconds. So like I get anxiety just waiting for them to get there. I'm like, oh God.
Content in general, please leave this video a subscribe. Obviously, it's a pretty big deal for me as it helps me continue to get sponsors in the future. And with that intro being
Dude, I want sponsors, bro.
the
Come
case,
on.
let's talk about today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by boot.dev. For now,
Sponsor these.
make your entire UI from scratch 25 minutes before Riot comes in.
Sponsor
Levels,
these.
beginning shows you where to forever to pay. For 25% asked. Back into the video. All right, now jumping into the dungeons, we're gonna start off by talking about King's Rest. I would say that King's Rest.
Rank 1 Boomy, have some respect. That's my boy, Tettles. I'll sponsor
That's
you.
very
Yo, I
different.
got you. I'll shout you out in my guide.
Old King's Rest from Battle for Azeroth, where a lot of the mobs have received reworks. If you remembered Old King's Rest in any capacity, well, first off, welcome. You're old as me. But secondly, it's not really that similar. There's lots of reworks for the mobs. First major thing that you need to know is that there's not that many mobs that are skippable in this dungeon. As you can see on screen right here through MDT, you can only skip 1 or 2 mobs throughout the entirety of the dungeon. It makes pathing fairly straightforward.
I kind of like dungeons where you can't skip. Then you don't need punk ass classes like rogues with fucking shroud. Have the advantage. I don't have to burn my potion and do tank damage. You know, I can have Gigapot,
There's not a ton of
Gigabomb.
options. I will say you're going to play a very similar route at the beginning of the season as you're going to likely to play at the end of the season. But that's just the pathing for this dungeon. So
Plus
talking about some of the
15.
mobs, especially in the first area that you're going to have to watch out for. First off, you're going to encounter a mob called Minions of Zool. These mobs are kind of annoying, where they have a shield on themselves, and if they ever contact a player, they fear you. So the way that you deal with them is you can either purge them, you can mass dispel them, you could potentially even turn evil them as well.
Wait, how did they get rid of them here? Is Arcane Torrent still a thing? Is that what this rogue did here? Like Blood Up Arcane Torrent still dispels? Oh wow.
Shield on themselves, and if they ever contact a
Wait,
player,
that's
they
really
fear you.
good.
So the way that you deal with them is you can either purge them, you can mass dispel them, you could potentially even turn evil them as well with an AoE fear turn evil cast that will actually stop them from fixating players, and that ends up breaking the tether. It ends up killing them off. The alternative is what? You just kind of get feared and you drop pretend. That ends up
Wait, what can you do? Turn evil?
You can potentially even turn evil. You can watch out
Well,
for. First off, you're going to encounter a mob called Minions of Zool. These
I
mobs are
can't.
kind of annoying, where they have a shield on themselves, and if they ever contact a player, they fear you. So the way that you deal with them is you can either purge them, you can
Purge,
mass dispel them,
mass.
you could potentially even turn evil them as
Turn
well
evil.
with an AoE fear turn evil cast that will actually stop them from fixating players.
AoE fear.
And that ends up breaking the tether. It ends up killing them
Huh? AoE fear works, but not like. What about AoE stun?
off. The alternative is what? You just kind of get feared and you drop a tremor totem. The Minions of Zool aren't great.
Oh yeah, we can just
They're
tremor
kind of
that
annoying,
shit.
but if you
Walk
have a
into them
purge
and
in this
tremor.
dungeon, they're fairly trivial. Now, the first pull of this dungeon that players do, it does about 1 billion damage. You end up pulling these massive golems, and whenever these golems hit 50% HP, they start pulsing on you for AoE. A lot of players have actually recently started doing these constructs into the first boss room with a pack, which then allows you to skip the purification construct halfway through the Machimba hallway. That's also a viable strategy. So if you're looking and thinking about potential skips or potential routing considerations, that's something that some of the absolute highest groups have been.
Guys, what does Machimba mean? Ryerson is gone. He's not here. He used to explain everything to me. What is Machimba?
Doing. And so they'll pull the constructs from the first pull into the boss room. Now, a lot of the trash in this first boss room, it's not that difficult. You can kind of yellow it. There are some mobs that put up a shield. There are some mobs that occasionally enrage. But realistically, the trash in the first room is not that hard. First boss, the Golden Serpent. Now, the Golden Serpent, it puts dots out periodically on players, and it also does big pulsing AoE damage for 4 or 5 hits. That's a majority of the damage intake consideration whenever you're thinking about the healer, is making sure that the players
It means whatever you want it to mean.
dots
Machimba
out, get
D's.
some triage healing, some targeted healing onto their players to where they are able to be top deck up. Then, whenever you have the dot out on your player, this goes out onto 2 players. Whenever the debuff
Dot,
expires,
run out.
you will drop gold puddles that spawn slimes.
Okay.
You want to really
Oh, they
stack
spawn
up these
slimes.
puddles. You want to kill off the slimes and not let them contact the boss, otherwise it will shield the boss. So that's kind of the general gameplay pattern of the Golden Serpent, a fairly straightforward encounter. Then, after you end up killing off the first boss, you have a forced trash gauntlet, which is fairly easy, so we're not going to really worry about that for too long. Then you have a purification construct. This guy guards the bridge. If you play him, just know that he is going to be doing a massive slam, which does
Oh my god.
big AoE damage. He is skippable with Shadow Meld and some kind of
Oh,
finesse,
it's a
especially
19.
if you're, you got your Wernstone, or you got your Shadow Meld, you got your Infernal Strike, you got your Heroic Leap. This guy is skippable. We've actually seen some teams electing to skip him on the PTR just because he does an insane amount of
Is he explaining every dungeon? Yeah, he is. I didn't push keys in Shadowlands. I
damage,
started pushing in Dragonflight.
but also because during the Machimba boss room, there's internment constructs and slimes that do some AoE damage to you, so you can't really pull the purification construct into it. And so by skipping this purification construct, it actually allows you to save a pretty significant amount of time. Now, the internment constructs, they will entomb you, and whenever you get entombed, it actually puts you in the nearest tomb. So it's something that's fairly predictable. If you're a tank, you can actually kind of herd your sheep of DPS to about where you want them, to where you can immediately click on the tomb and be able to get that player out. But if you have the internment constructs pulled and then Machimba then gets pulled, this will make the internment construct just spam
Oh, Machimba's the boss.
a drain fluid cast. This can be beneficial in some situations. Say the internment construct's at 10% or 15%, and you're gonna get another entomb. You would rather not lose the damage from that player going into the entomb, and instead you'll just maybe pull Machimba. It's a little bit of upfront damage that your healer has to deal with, but it's okay.
My
Now,
bad,
talking
Theo,
about
my
Machimba
bad.
himself, he has one cast that's actually very dangerous. He's got a Drain Fluid ability. This is an ability that is able to be melded. It does a lot of target. It's a very
Of course you can meld it or feign death, bro. Ellie needs feign death.
hard-hitting targeted channel. There's another couple of things that you need to know about Machimba. He spawns mummies occasionally that must be kicked. Failure to kick these puts a disease on the entire group. Very dangerous. The dot is quite dangerous. And then he also does, similar to the internment construct, he also does an entomb cast. It's not like the internment construct where it's the nearest tomb where you're going to get entombed. It's one of the random 4 tombs across the room. If you end up clicking the wrong tomb, you also spawn additional mummies. Some groups don't care. Say you're playing with a prop paladin, that guy's just going to Avenger Shield them anyways.
How do you know what the right tomb is?
But it can be something that's kind of annoying if you're not careful. So, we down Machimba. Now we're
He didn't talk about how you know what the right tomb is.
moving on to the next section, the bridge area. We're only a couple of mobs.
They gotta shake the tomb? Who?
Mobs are relevant.
Oh, the person in the tomb?
First mob that's relevant is a shaman. He's a spectral shaman. He summons healing
Okay, you knock with extra. Oh, extra ability knock. Okay.
tide totems. If you do not
Ooh, what if you ping yourself? I love that, Theo. It's always the closest tomb to whoever got kidnapped. He just said that the boss doesn't work that way though. For the trash, it's the closest, but for the boss, it's random.
not kill these totems quickly, it will heal the pack to full. It has like an infinite range in terms of the healing.
Oh, they
These
changed
totems
it.
don't have a ton of health, but they need to be focused down as quickly as possible. That's probably the main mob that's on this bridge. That's
Alright, kill totems.
So, say we kill off the bridge, now we make it to the next boss, the Council of Tribes, where this boss is always going to be in the same order. The order is Kula the Butcher first. What she does is she does a Severing Axe cast, and she spawns some Beyblades on the ground periodically. Getting hit by the Beyblade is going to kill you. The Severing
I don't think he's gonna time this key. It's gonna be real tight.
Axe is a dot that your healer has to watch out for. Next up, we have Akali the Conqueror. Akali the Conqueror has a group soak. This group soak is meldable, feign deathable, and
Can we just remove Night Elf, Meld, and Feign Death? Or give Ele Shaman Feign Death?
invisible by like mages. You can also vanish it if you're a rogue or whatever. If for some reason you're playing a rogue in your group. And
If for some
dropping
reason
combat
you're
on that
playing
group
a
soak
rogue.
just saves you a decent amount of group damage. Is also able to be bopped as well if you're playing with Paladin. The other mechanic that Akali the Conqueror has is the debilitating backhand, which whenever that contacts the tank, that gives the tank a vulnerability. Historically, the tanks have kited.
What is he doing?
Contacts the tank.
Are you supposed to dodge these swirls?
A vulnerability. Historically, the tanks have
Huh?
kited, although I will say this season on the PTR, tanks have not really respected this debilitating backhand ability, so it's maybe not something that you'll always have to kite, or it might be a situation where, depending on your defensives, you can stand and face tank the boss, even with the backhand debuff on you. Third boss on the Council of Tribes is Xanazal the Wise, and this guy's kind of the hardest, where
I mean, he was soaking the AoE, but he soaked the damn sword in his face too. He walked right into it.
Every so often, he summons 3 totems. The only totem that really matters is the explosive totem. That needs to be killed off before the cast resolves. Otherwise, you're going to wipe. The thundering totem and the torrent totem don't really do anything. They passively get cleaved down. You just drag the boss over them, and your DPS will end up.
Oh wait, disruption interrupts you, right?
Council Tribe's fairly easy encounter though. It just has 3 bosses that knowing the mechanics is going to be a big part of the battle there. Then we make it to the most iconic mob in this entire dungeon, Shadow of Zul, where Shadow of Zul has 2 minions of Zul that get spawned by circles that occasionally go on to players. There's also going to be a puddle that ends up spawning that needs to be soaked. There are 2 soaks now. There were previously only 1 soak during the PTR. Maybe I only have footage of when there was 1 soak. But there's going to be 2 soaks that are on the ground that need to be obtained. The tank is very likely to stand in one of the puddles, especially moving the mini-boss into melee. And it will also summon fear mobs at the exact same time.
Where are the 2 ads?
This creates a pretty easy wipe condition. Shadow of Zul no longer does insane amounts of tank damage. The healer actually has to out-heal the dots that go onto random players as opposed to it just blasting the tank. But again, the wipe condition is there are going to be 2 soaks and fear mobs
they get
spawning
feared,
at the same time, so you have to be really careful. Like the minions of Zul are kind of back, and so again, having the purge is quite valuable. So you kill off Shadow of Zul, and now you're moving on to Dazar, the final boss of the dungeon.
This guy seems like busted. I remember doing this guy. I'm like, dude, what? These swirlies on the ground are crazy.
With Dazar, the second raptor,
wait.
These raptors share health dungeon. He's got 2 raptors, Raban and Tazala, and these raptors share health with Dazar.
Oh, they do share health with the boss, so we do chain lightning.
The second raptor actually...
Somebody was telling me not to chain. That was padding. I gotta go back through the logs and ban that guy. It would be hilarious if they add an NPC called the GM that deletes... Yeah, the GM.
Spawns at 80% health on the boss.
We're like, where does he go here?
Depending on what you're cleaving off of, occasionally you'll have 2 raptors out at the same time. Sometimes you'll have a Raban killed off first. Now Raban has an AoE fear cast and it needs to be kicked. It's a physical damage fear. It's actually very bad if that ends up going off. Dazar also has insane tank damage with an ability called Blade Combo. This early on during PTR cycles was killing off tanks very easy. It's not as hard now, but at the same time, it's still something that you need to be watching out for if you're a tank. A couple other mechanics that are notable on Dazar. He has an ability called Quaking Leap, where he always leaps towards the furthest player first. This can be dodged with any movement effects. He has another ability called Gilded Destruction, where he summons javelins from the sky. Gilded Destruction is always baited on top of the boss for the most amount of javelins. Tanks should ideally ping where they're going to go after the Gilded Destruction resolves. That way your ranged and your melee know where the boss is going to be dragged to allow you to have 100% melee uptime. The boss also does this cringe frontal cleave on his melee attacks during the Gilded Destruction. So if you're a melee DPS or potentially even a range that's running in front of the boss, watch out because you're going to get cleaved by a frontal. Okay, so that's King's Rest. I would say King's Rest is actually on the easier end in terms of damage intake, and so I wouldn't be shocked if this is one of the easier dungeons that we see. King's Rest is actually on
what
the
are you
easier
supposed to
end
do here?
in terms of damage intake, and so
never mind. I guess one is supposed to, one of these 2 can go here.
I wouldn't be shocked if this is one of the easier dungeons that we see on this season. All right, moving on to Ruby Life Pools. Now, Ruby Life Pools, similar to King's Rest, has...
I remember Ruby Life Pools.
Pretty significant...
I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I was indifferent.
And a dragon, or like 9 mobs total. It obviously depends on your count a little bit. But there's like only a couple of mobs that you can skip inside of this dungeon. Now, Blizzard did recently make the Stormbringers and Thunderhead on the upper ring, making the Stormbringers give a little bit more count and making Thunderhead a little bit less lethal. Those mobs are all a little bit less.
I hated Ruby because I was a healer. Yeah. I am scared of the fire Ellies when they put that circle debuff on me because I have 1 defensive, so if I get back to back, GG's. I like the visual update for the second boss in this dungeon. Absolutely, Snoopy. They need to do more of that. That shit is so good.
But in my experiences, Thunderhead and the Stormbringers were both very illegal for pretty much the entirety of the
They also made the dragons upstairs not fly. I saw them on the ground walking around.
But since they got nerfed, it may change things where people are playing a couple of Stormbringers to get count, since they do give 10 count apiece, and Thunderhead I think is like 30 count or something like that. But it's not something that's super clear-cut based on how people played the PTR. Now, Ruby Life Pools as a dungeon feels very similar to Dragonflight, except there are far fewer casters just as a whole. Now, talk about trash in the first area. You got the Juggernauts. These guys do massive amounts of AoE damage and high melee damage to your tank, You have to really watch out whenever you pull a Juggernaut. We've seen some Juggernaut skipped over the course of the PTR. We've seen most of them get played, though. Another mob that matters in the first area trash is the Chill Lever. It has 2 casted abilities. One is just generic Bolt, and then the second one is Frost Infusion Shield, where the Frost Infusion Shield, it pulses AoE, shields the mob that the Frost Infusion is cast on. You need to kick or stop this channel to allow you to be able to kill packs off far quicker. Now, the last mob that you're kind of worried about is like the Earthshaper. They throw rocks onto people, and they are kind of the scary thing in this section. The rock dot will stack up, and actually it normally puts someone at around 50% HP before another ability kills them. That's the level of lethality that kind of
Shit. You guys think that rock damage is physical?
happens.
Seems like having a shield would be awesome for that. What healer is your top choice for keys? Dude,
First area is this
I don't know.
untelegraphed rock that gets
I kind of Holy Pally would be nice. That way we can have a Holy Pally sacrifice, you know?
thrown onto
Little
players.
blessing of
periodically
sack on
and
me,
puts a
please.
pretty
I
scary
need
drop
that.
onto them. So you have to be watching out for that. Let's say you deal with all of that. You have the mini boss that you need to kill off before you make it into the first boss. Drag
Priest is gonna have a hard time.
Really annoying now. If you remember him from
Priest
Dragon's
has no
Light, you would
poison
pull him into the
dispel.
boss room.
They're gonna have a
That
hard
is
time,
no
I think.
longer the case. There is a firewall up, so Draghar has this nice feature where now he dashes and accidentally pulls additional mobs. I would say that for the normal pug group, you should try to clear out a bunch of the trash that is around Draghar. That way, unexpected pulling from his telegraph dash doesn't happen. Basically, you want to clear out most of this bottom area trash to begin with, and so pulling it on your own terms as opposed to letting Draghar dash into them is normally going to be beneficial. Okay, so Meladrusa Chillworm. She is a pretty easy fight, all things considered, to the point where a lot of teams are actually stepping on eggs for funnel. But if you end up walking on the eggs before the fight starts, that can engage the fight if you're not careful. And the fight kind of goes as follows. You really want to stack loosely for Hail Burst bombs, and stacking is pretty nice as it keeps the room's clutter to a minimum. You need to get out of the group whenever you're dropping the Chill Storm AoE, and every 66 and 33%, the boss is going to go into an Overload cast, which has a really long cast time, and you'll see it.
Can you LOS a rock damage? Nah, we ain't doing that, bro. We gotta do them damage. That's Ascendance Bloodlust. I ain't LOSing nothing. You see the damage and blood decays are doing? Didn't they just get a little nerf though, or what?
The telegraphing on it. You press a defensive and you try to break the shield ASAP on the 66 and 33% Overload cast. So we kill her off. We make it on to the upper ring.
So she's easy. She's easy.
Teams tend to go right straight off the rip and do a Cinder Weaver pack into the first Destroyer. The Destroyers are the dangerous mobs in this upper ring where they're Inferno cast.
Does anybody know how to move EUI quest frame? Yeah, do /unlock, no? You should be able to move it.
Is pretty dangerous. They're actually quite a bit less
Destroyers are going to be ass.
Tank bolt, even though it sounds sketchy. I've seen Blood Decays basically tank that without any damage.
This
so
dot that he has right here.
You're kind of worried about the Inferno.
Does he die?
Dot.
Oh, he should have died. That bear
form
form was good.
First area are very dangerous. They cast Cinder Bolts, and they put a debuff onto you that will knock you up. Both are very dangerous, and this is especially true whenever it's combined with the Inferno Dot. There's also another mob that does an ability called Flame.
Wait, the Cinder Weaver doesn't put that circle on you? I thought the Destroyer puts the circle on the Living Bomb.
Cast Cinder Bolts.
I guess not. I thought the Destroyer did this.
And they put a debuff onto you that will knock you up. Both are very dangerous, and this is especially true whenever it's combined with the Inferno Dot. There's also another mob that does an ability called Flame Dance. This ability will kill the tank.
My
off
life
rather
is a
quickly.
lie.
It does infinite damage.
What up, Poop Dollar?
Needs to be CC'd. It's just a channeled bolt spam every like,
dude,
0.5
Boomkin is
seconds on the
squishy.
tank.
Holy,
Again,
but this guy's
any
dead
CC
like
on it,
almost
whether
every
it be Death Grip,
second.
whether it be Typhoon, whether it be
Hi, Beatty. How are you?
Whether it be Blind, whatever it may be, any CC on it is valuable. Now another mob is Flame Galay. He's back. He doesn't really do anything until
Flame
he gets 50%
Galay.
HP. Once he reaches 50%
Flame Gullet.
HP, he starts pulsing on your group for AoE damage, stacking up to 10
Okay,
times.
so that's the same thing I
Normally,
remember
most
him
groups actually
doing.
pull him with the Destroyer that's near him, and you hard focus the Destroyer, making sure that's killed off before Flame Galay hits 50%.
Before he hits
The other
50%.
dragon in the top is Thunderhead, and he puts out 2 lightning charge debuffs on players at the exact same time. Whenever you dispel one, it puts a dot onto players for 8 seconds, meaning that you need to like frame one, dispel it, because otherwise, if you don't frame 1 dispel the Thunderhead dot, then you'll get 2 stacks of this 8-second long lightning debuff, and it's really just dangerous.
Wait, how does Thunderhead work now?
It puts 2 lightning charge debuffs on players at the exact same time. Whenever you dispel 1, it puts a dot onto players for 8 seconds, meaning that you need to like frame 1 dispel it, because otherwise, if you don't frame 1 dispel the Thunderhead dot, then you'll get 2 stacks of this 8-second long lightning debuff, and it's really just dangerous. This was something that was like, again, wiping players throughout the entirety of the PTR. It's really easy to skip this guy. You can just walk around him. He no longer flies around the area.
Yeah, he doesn't fly. Oh, you just walk around him?
So I think he's a potential skip. He's probably still likely to be skipped just with how hard he was. All right, that's the upper ring trash dealt with. We make it on to Kokia Blazehoof. She is a lot easier, I would say, than she used to be. Most of the damage in the past were from her ads casting Inferno onto you and basically killing you. She also previously had ads that you needed to be very conscious about kick lockout on to make sure they didn't get 2 Inferno casts off. That's no longer a thing. Now, basically,
you dispel 1 and heal the hell of the other one. Yeah.
On a higher level, you're actually going to pretty regularly get 2 Inferno casts off. So if you're on a high level, you actually cleave off the boss.
This boss is chill. I always thought this boss was easy.
But if you're on, say, like a weekly
this is a
level,
healer issue boss. As long as we get our kicks,
that you don't get the second Inferno cast off. Beyond that, it's kind of like you want to bait the boulder, watching out for pebbles. Otherwise, the boulder's going to explode early. And something that's notable
pebbles.
is that the tank can actually AMS every tank frontal. It's the exact timer, though. This is relevant to Blood as meta. Obviously not super relevant if Blood DK doesn't become meta.
It's just
something that I've brought to you guys.
Visual update is so good on the boulder.
This is where the difficulty actually gets pretty ramped up. I would say it's really hard, mostly due to damage intake, where a couple of mobs here are pretty tough. The mob that is the hardest, though, is the Tempest Channeler. The Tempest Channeler, she does a targeted zap onto players and pulsing AoE. This, in combination with Cinder Weavers and random other AoE damage that's happening in this area, can take players...
Bro, is this Boomkin damage real? Look at this shit.
The other mob that's kind of notable in this area is the mini-boss that's required to spawn Araka and Urquhart, which is High Channeler Ravati. She's a mini-boss. She periodically shields herself, and if the shield is not broken, then it will stun your entire group. Now, I've noticed that on like 18s and 19s, this shield is very hard to break. Whenever we were doing like 15s or weekly key level, the shield was really
Ele doesn't have the best prio.
But if you're doing a super high level dungeon, you need to...
Mage doing tank damage. Bro, why are people saying mage is meta? Look at this mage damage. Boomies never release their APLs, dude. Never. You never see their trinkets on Blood Metal and nothing. They're just a bunch of sandbaggers.
Carefully allocate offensive cooldowns to make sure that shield gets broken to where your entire group doesn't get stunned for 5 seconds. Now, last boss, Karaka and Urquhart. Way easier than Dragonflight. The Inferno Spit just does way less damage. Now, you do still get hit by Inferno Spit by Karaka. It drops puddles on the ground, and these puddles end up getting pushed by the wind. You previously would be super cognizant of like where you were dropping the fire to make sure that it normally...
That frontal breath is new too, right? Like this cone?
Where
we need to see more of that. That shit is good.
To make sure that it normally would get pushed towards an edge. This is a little bit less relevant now. I will say Karaka, whenever she lands on the ground and does her Inferno cast, she lands nearest to the largest clump of players.
Now they got to fix the Raptors and King's Rest. Their frontal like cleave looks so hard to see. It's impossible.
So making sure that you as like a 5-stack are playing kind of close to one another to where Karaka is always baited on top of Urquhart to where you're able to get the
awful bait
is super valuable. Now Urquhart, she does an AoE interrupting shout. It's called interrupting cloudburst. It's really annoying. It does a medium amount of AoE damage. And whenever Urquhart or Karaka both...
Does Settles actually time any keys,
Urquhart
though?
will mount up and get on top of Karaka, resetting aggro. Now, this means... Like, there's a kind of a weird bug that's going on where Urquhart will ignore taunt on pull in P1 as well for a few seconds. The resetting aggro and the ignoring taunt on pull in P1 for a few seconds is like a really weird bug. And so as a tank, you have to be super aware of these things. Let's say you made it to P2. In P2, there's a pretty sketchy overlap with the Interrupting Shout AoE and the Inferno Spit. You really need to be diligent about using defenses on the Interrupting Cloudburst cast. That's most of where the damage is going to be coming from. The Inferno Spit is going to be like a fairly low ticking damage. But
Do
I
you
will
want
say,
these
if you ever
guys
have
to
the
die at
overlap
the
where you
same
have the Inferno
time?
Spit
I
on your
always
character
forget.
and the Interrupting Cloudburst is going off, you need to press like your biggest defensive and potentially even health pot to make sure you're at 100% HP before it goes off. Next up, we got Temple of Sethralus, where Temple, similar to Ruby and King's Rest, it actually requires most of the mobs in the dungeon to be pulled. You can skip, I don't know, 3 packs max, I would say. You can actually look in MDT for yourself to see exactly how many mobs you can skip, but you're pulling more mobs than you would guess. There's been about 75% of my runs have missed count in Temple of Sethralus. Now let's talk about the first area trash. The first pull of this dungeon tends to be really hard, and people like to pull big.
Oh yeah. You swap to the dragon as hard as you can at the beginning.
Especially early on, if your main objective
Because I
is
think you
want to
kill the
just walk
dragon
through the dungeon
first.
and have a 0% chance of depleting the key, you can
Oh,
actually
this is a
break
big
up the
pull.
first pull into 2 separate pulls. But a lot of teams
There's an
end up
Ele Shaman in here.
taking this first pack of trash, running all the way down the hallway.
Sham
and end up
Zelda.
pulling it
Let's
into
go,
one of the big
baby.
guys.
Lock in.
And so the big
He's
guys
getting
that I'm
gapped.
referencing are the Sand Fury Stone Fist. They have an ability called Ground Pound, which is a massive AoE hit. It hits
Bro,
you for
Sham
probably
Zelda's
somewhere
getting
between 50 and
gapped,
75%
bro.
of your HP, depending on the
Boomkin is
The
busted.
other mobs that are in this first area that are relevant, the most notable one is actually the Sand Swept Hunter, where it has an ability called Arrow Barrage, which is a 10-second channeled hit onto your player.
10?
These mobs need to be CC'd. Anything like
Holy
Death
cow.
Grip, Typhoon, Wing Buffet, Blast Wave, trying to get these mobs gather into the first pull.
Boomy's
super
mogging
valuable,
everyone.
And if a hunter gets stuck
He's
4
damage
yards
mogging
channeling
us.
onto a player and they don't get CC'd, it's very likely
He's
that the player will be
max.
super low
Max
right
mogging
before the
us.
Stone Fist Ground Pound AoE hit goes off.
Look at him just
The
fucking
only other mob
starfall
that's in this first
everything.
area that's relevant
Shit
is
is
the
so
Shrouded
free. He just
Fangs.
dots everything out, hit
They need to be
starfall.
kicked, otherwise they're going to stun your tank. They're not hard, it's just a required kick. Alright, you kill off the first area of trash. You make it to the first boss, Adderus and Aspects, where one of these ads is always going to be Storm Blessed and immune to damage. It's a rite of passage the first time that you do this boss, where you hit for a significant period of time into the one that's immune. You need to be making sure that you're not hitting into the one that's immune.
I actually like that he said that because I'm pretty sure I did that last night.
Adderus always
Oh,
starts as the boss
God.
that is vulnerable. That should be the one that's targeted on pull.
Adderus,
And I think
okay.
it's like a 45 or 50 second long
Bring back
phase
Weak
where
Auras.
Adderus is not shielded by the Storm Blessed. Now this fight is very easy, where you basically just drop the Tempest Winds off to the side, you get pushed back by the Gale Force occasionally, and then you have to group soak a circle. The hard part of this fight is whenever you get pushed back by the Tempest Winds, making sure that you get back in melee range to be able to soak the circle on the entire party. The common strategy is just run back into melee and bring the circle into melee of the boss. Now, second area trash. I would say the second area trash is actually pretty high damage intake all around. Poison dispels
Booby
are
just caught back
especially
up.
nice in here. So you have something like Poison Cleansing Totem or a couple of Poison Dispels
Alright,
from like
Poison
a Monk
Cleanse,
and
okay.
a Holy Paladin, for example. Poison Dispels in here are great.
I threw my
The
whole
reason for
CD
this is
combo
the
on
poisonous
Arcane.
vipers,
Oh
where they put
no, I'm
random
sorry,
poisons
bro.
onto players. They are kind of littered throughout this area.
Immune.
It's not
Why
like
am
a
I doing
targeted
0
or interruptible
damage?
Cast. It's just something that randomly happens. Another kind of main source of damage is from the Riders. They spawn many Crowlusks, and these dudes dash you and bleed you periodically. This in
Shadows is
combination with
covering
poisonous
everything,
vipers,
bro.
Poison, that's where people actually start to get in trouble if they have both debuffs on them at the exact same time. And the last mod that's relevant in the second area is the Faithless Subjugator. This is a required kick. It has an ability called Addled Mind. It will stun you as like a channel if the cast resolves. So either kick it or use a stop the moment that the Addled Mind cast resolves. Second boss, Marekthra.
Bro, I feel like his
I
nameplates
don't
suck.
think she's
It's hard to
hard,
see
but
what's
I think
happening.
She's kind of like a noob check.
Like if like
The first
let me see.
mechanic
Like
that you have to know
if
is
I'm looking at this
that you need to. She's
and I'm like, I can't like. How do I know what I have Moonfire on? Is he just looking here? This mob's covered. I don't know if I got Moonfire on that ass. You know? Fucking nameplates suck.
second boss, Marekthra. I don't think she's hard, but I think she's kind of like a noob check. The first mechanic that you have to know is that you need to CC the Knot of Snakes.
It's base
This
Elismere?
will
I don't
break
think it
players
is.
Out of the 20-second long stun, you don't really want to kill these off. Instead, you just using things like stuns or incapacitates or whatever to break the fixate from the Knot of Snakes to summon all of the snakes that are required is easy. Then the boss, after 50-ish seconds, she burrows and goes into an intermission. So you really want to prioritize doing boss damage to be able to skip phases. If you can kill the boss off in only 2 up phases as opposed to 3, you can actually save yourself somewhere in the order of about 45 seconds on your timer. Now, this is where the noob check comes in. Getting ran over by the boss during the intermission is a very common thing that happens, mostly due to the fact that you're sitting there as a DPS and you're focused on DPSing down these 4 mobs to get Merektha back out from her burrow. In the process, you're not really looking at where Merektha is moving towards around the room. Whenever she stops and is starting to go through the middle of the room, she actually targets a player and moves towards them. This means that most people want to be standing near to the middle of the room. That way you have the most time possible to be able to determine where is Merektha coming from, who is she targeting, and where do I need to move. All right, we kill off Merektha. We make it to the 3rd area. We have 2 mobs that are in this area that are dangerous. First one is the agitated.
Gonna do some boss damage with Earthquake,
Nimbus.
personally. Yeah, me too.
And the Static Anomaly are the dangerous mobs, especially only when they're dealing damage together. The Nimbus casts an ability called Release Charge, and it will do like an accelerated charge ability, which can be spell stolen or purged. If you spell steal it or purge it, then the Nimbus does not cast Release Charge at all, and so I think that having a purge.
Oh, okay, so just purge that ass.
But say hypothetically, the Nimbus Release Charge is going off. You need to defensive this, especially if you also have the anomalies casting leap onto players. Actually, it's not even a casted leap. It's just a random leap that's on the players. Kind of the iconic boss of this dungeon, Galvast, where
I remember this guy being
not
pain.
the same Galvast that you once knew. You really want to tank this boss along the wall, and you can actually position and move the boss in a way where multiple people can actually soak 2 or potentially even 3 beams at once if they have immunities. This is not normally the best strategy because it does a lot of damage to you, but I think pivoting into a 3-point triangle, it actually makes the strategy on this fight fairly easy since only 3 puddles go out at a time. Then the tank moves the boss like clockwise around the wall to be able to drop the big pollution.
That's a lot of damage intake.
As for the pillars, you just soak the pillars. You don't let your tank.
Can they buff Ele, bro?
Melee damage whenever he's soaking.
The hell is his damage?
The old ball gauntlet is completely gone. The one that bugged out the MDI that everybody thinks of is no longer in the game. Instead, you stand on
the ball bugged in MDI? That's crazy. Yeah, I remember this ball bugging
you can CC
all the time.
Now, the CC is actually kind of interesting because, as you can see on screen right here, what we do is we slam down a cage on the far side disruptor, and then we just chain either Death Grip or Typhoon or just any amount of CC on the near side disruptor, even like Solar Beam or Interrupts. And you just stand on top of the shrine, and you
and you go to the next one.
Disruptors off. If you had to kill off the disruptors, this would take a really long time.
Oh
the
yeah, CC one.
Is the Orb Watcher, and this mob does a lot of AoE damage.
I can't wait for Ancestors to break my CC.
One of the bosses of all time, where it's trash. The boss, where you just kill trash mobs the entire time.
I think Subrogue needs another buff before Ele. No.
Whenever you kill off these trash
Ele
mobs,
needs some 2-target buffs.
Drop a condensed life force orb. You want to soak the condensed life force orb, but not too quickly. Where if you have 2 hits of the condensed life force orb go off while you still have the debuff from the first hit, it's just going to wipe you. It's going to kill your entire group. You can actually do something that's kind of nice where you can soak one and then let the other one go off naturally. That way nobody has to worry about dealing with them. So maybe this is a healer job. Maybe this ends up being a tank job.
There's the orb.
And you just, as a DPS, you kind of steer clear of these.
You do one and then you can't do back to back.
You need to actually soak them because they do a large percentage of the healing to the boss. Because another main mechanic of this fight is that the healer should try to heal the boss during the intermission whenever the boss is available to be healed. But at the same time, killing adds in this phase actually does the most amount of healing to the boss, and you can actually kill a dynamic amount of waves of adds depending on how fast you're killing them. So the difference between getting 2 waves of adds during the intermission versus 3 waves of adds during the intermission is an insane amount of healing that goes into the fight, making damage actually super relevant. Now, something that's actually kind of notable is that you end up with 2 of these phases anyways on this last boss, so it's probably not worth saving Lust over. I don't know where you're kind of supposed to Bloodlust in this dungeon, but Bloodlusting the last
Dude, I hate when my Ancestors target random shit too all the time. Ellie's about to be ass in raid? Nah, it's not.
Meleeed, but if they do get meleeed,
maybe on like 1 or 2 fights.
Which is not very good. Okay, talking about a dungeon that nobody outside of the PTR has done, Altar of Fangs. Altar of Fangs.
Okay, here we go. Isn't a Shine in Liquid? Liquid's Ele? We're about to see what's better right here. Ele Shaman or Boomkin?
Actually quite hard. The main premise of the first area is that you're going to have to click 5 totems before you're able to...
I'm excited for first area too.
...fight the first boss. And the mobs in the first area are the reason that the first area is quite hard. Where the first mob is the Ravenous Descadent. This is a
Ooh,
mob
I'm
that
gonna
has a
pump in the raid
stacking
next week
enrage
and in
where melee
keys.
swings will stack up to 20 times. It's a 2-second long enrage. You need to time your AoE CC properly to make sure that your tank can actually get a reset. Otherwise,
What
they're
the
going
hell?
to
My
melee to death
shaman
with these
almost
mobs.
died.
Another mob that's actually kind of dangerous in this first area is a Primal Serpent. It's actually quite easy, but it has a required kick. Failure to kick this will give you a 30% haste down. Actually, the initial hit...
That right here is what I'm talking about. This is a real Ele Shaman right here. My boy is real. Glocking the boomy.
Well, also wipe you if
Putting
you're not
the
careful, if you're
work.
not topped. The Twin Fang Harrowers, these are these
Oh
like big
shit.
wyvern dragon looking
No,
mobs.
hold. Can my shaman get a heal?
These are these like big wyvern dragon looking mobs. The main ability that's dangerous on them is the paralyzing shots. It's an
Criminal, 0 heals.
Initial hit damage. They do also have a spinning frontal. A notable thing about these mobs is that movement speed clearing effects will remove the debuff, the paralyzing shots debuff. Also, if you pull two dragons, the ones that have the anti-sync, forced to desync.
We just got robbed, bro.
But they're very dangerous when pulled with the Ritual Chieftain, which is the other mob that's in this area, where the Chieftain has an ability where he puts an AoE heal absorb onto your players. It's a very scary AoE heal absorb called Blood Sacrifice. Additionally, if you drag the Chieftain away from the totems, they start pulsing, doing damage to the group. But the damage to the group is relatively low. But the dangerous part of the Chieftain is if you have the Chieftain pulled with the Harrower and you sync the paralyzing shots with the heal absorb, you just die. Then you jump down and you fight the first boss, Ravioli. Now, something that's kind of interesting about this fight is that you can actually snap mobs into this first boss arena, but it's kind of unknown as to whether or not people are going to be ballsy enough to try this, but just something that I've encountered throughout the entirety of PTR testing. Now, Ravioli is a healer fight mostly where the boss is going to periodically drop an ability called Fresh Meat onto the battlefield on 2 of the 3 stacks of bones that you can see off the side.
Fresh meat.
As the tank, you're going to immediately move the boss to the 3rd stack, the one that does not have the fresh meat on top of it. Then the boss is going to cast an ability called Scavenge. And whenever the boss is scavenging on top of a non-fresh meat stack, it will stack a damage over time effect, vulnerability.
Mage needs a teammate to die to look relevant. Yeah, look at the mage right now. He's blasting
onto players. The other thing that's dangerous for healers here is that triple shot. It's an ability cast by Ravi as well, where it's a pretty nasty spot heal that must be paid attention to. A lot of this fight really kind of comes down to the tank moving the boss away from the fresh meat and the healer meeting the heal checks with the triple shot and the scavenge. If you don't have enough DPS to break the scavenge shield...
They got nerfed by like 3%. Relax. Is there some other proc or way to get Ele Blast buffs other than using Elemental Blast? Yeah, when your ancestor despawns, you get an Elemental Blast.
Now, talking about the second area trash, not too different. There's a couple mobs. The Rattling Writhe has an AoE, pulsing AoE hit from an ability called Rattle.
Fucking Boomkins.
See it and stop it as well.
Look at all these numbers. He just presses Starfall, dude. Must be nice. Does that drop Earthquakes?
Called the Evolutionist, which he casts in Venom, which you can just kick that. And then he'll also try to evolve. Now, the casted in Venom puts a poison...
Bro's payphoning casting Starfire and Starfall. And Ele Shaman is fucking surviving, trying to keep up.
So the Evolutionist, you need to basically just press a stop on the evolve to make sure that you lower the amount of damage.
Boomy just pressed 2 buttons on AoE? That's disgusting, by the way. Starfire, Starfall. That's it. What does Ele press? We press Chain. We press Quake. We press Voltaic Blaze. We press Lavaverse. I'm not gonna count CDs because I'm sure Boomy has CDs too. What the hell? These bros just press 2 buttons.
The pack before this boss has an Venom guy pre-evolved, and he has a shield on him that will almost kill everyone instantly along with the rattle. So you really need to make sure that the pre-evolved Venom guy gets DPS down quickly. Now, the Writhing...
Wait, look at overall though. Are we back? Dude, my guide is done. It is in the hands of my editor. I'm paying my editor a fortune.
Let's go!
They gotta get it done. Yo, Optimus, thank you for the 32, baby. Welcome back to the Ghost Wolf Pack. Let's go.
Coil, the second boss of this dungeon. It's actually a pretty chill boss.
Chill boss.
He puts a 40-second long dot onto your players periodically.
Gross.
Which you can
pre-immune
unless they've changed it. But I think you can pre-immune this with like things like AMS and Cloak or whatever else.
Of course, AMS can just pre-immune anything.
Where it pulls your entire party on top of the boss, and as 5 players, you must run away from the boss to snap the chain to stop the death rattle pulsing AoE. Then you DPS down 5 snakes that periodically fixate players. After 25 seconds, they're going to assimilate and deal damage to the main boss based on how much damage they've done to them. So the 5 snakes and the boss should have the same rough total HP. So kind of view the snake phase as a massive
Solar Beam
damage
is good.
amp. If you have offensive CDs rolling, you should be looking to press them on this damage amp. There's also a damage down on the boss where there's like a 3-kick mechanic. And if you mess it up, you actually end up getting the damage down. Movement and pairing effects, I think, clear the damage down dot, but I don't think it is intentional, but it did work. Last area trash. There's a mini boss called the Ascendant Serpent where you have to click 4 totems to be able to...
Can you drop a link to the VOD? Yeah, I got you, bro. Hold on. Let me pause the video for everybody watching. 160 people just to get my boy J-Ball the link to the VOD, bro. Oh, there's a period. Bang, I got you, dude.
Summon the mini boss. This mini boss summoned about a billion ads that fixates players.
A billion ads.
Ring of Peace, Ursul's Vortex, AoE stuns are all very
Yo, what up,
Matic? To get them killed off quickly. A lot of times it would be seen as pad to try to focus down this many small ads, but this, it's so many small ads.
That's so many
players that you actually need to be looking to like coordinate CC on them.
That's a billion.
There's some really dangerous mobs as well that are in the last trash area called Living Venoms, where they burst for large.
Look at overall. Who is saying Mage is trash? Where you at now? Nobody.
On death. In addition to that, there's also Blades of the Altar that do an untelegraphed dash to player, so that
what up, Frosty?
With the Living Venoms can kill you quickly. And there's also
damn, now I want a Frosty from Wendy's. I want a small vanilla Frosty.
Okay, so the final boss. Final boss is kind of
wait, I missed that guy. I missed that guy.
With the Living Venoms can kill you quickly. Blades of the Altar that do an untelegraphed dash to player, so that kind of in combination with the Living Venoms can kill you quickly. And there's also just a lot of random pulsing AoE damage from mobs in this area. Okay, so the final boss. Final boss is kind of simple. There are beams that try to contact the boss.
Okay.
4 people have to soak a green beam to make sure that it doesn't go into the boss.
Soak the green beam,
Whenever you're soaking it, you get 8 stacks of the debuff. If you do not get all 8 stacks cleared off of your character, you die. How do you clear the stacks? Well, you clear the stacks from physical damage dots. So you should actually stand in the Bone Slicer ability to be able to cleanse the stacks. You can stand in the Beyblade to be able to cleanse the stacks, but they buffed the amount of damage that it does to you, so it'll probably one-shot you. I think you're really just supposed to stand in the Bone Slicer dot. Murder Row has a couple of things that you need to know about it in the very beginning, where you have to click on 4
Murder Row
to activate the walkway to the first boss.
Willing to buy lightning bolt and move. Oh god, that'd be so good. Lightning bolt and move. We did that in one expansion. I forgot where. It was permanent lightning bolt and move. It was so good.
And you can see right on screen here in MDT where the snitches are, to where you have to clear out packs of trash. Now, something that's also kind of unique to this dungeon is that there is a crystal that you can pick up from the first right wing boss room.
Oh, a crystal.
What crystal does is allows you to buy assorted items off of specific vendors.
What?
There is one item that is much, much, much better than the rest. It's called the Concealed Pistol. It's actually located inside the boss room on the right side. It bleeds enemies, making them take 20% increased damage. This is fantastic.
What?
A lot of times, actually, we use it on the first boss because the first boss also has a damage amp, and so you're trying to one phase the first boss. There's some other items. There's like a Fellworm egg, which gives you 50.
Fellworm egg summons a mana worm. Strike damage. Your haste. Dagger. Reduce max victim by 30%. I'm sure that doesn't work on bosses. Yep.
15% haste for 30 seconds. There's also some max HP reduction. That's on like a 3 charge thing from like a Heartstop dagger, but it doesn't work on Lieutenant mobs, so it's not very good.
Oh, Lieutenant mobs are harder than you?
By far, the best thing to buy is the Concealed Pistol, so you should be buying that pretty much 100% of the time. All right, talk about the mobs. Trash in the first area is actually fairly easy. It's pretty tank damage heavy with Bribe Guards. They cast an ability called Shield Bash, being a large source of tank damage. There are some imps that do low amounts of group damage if not stopped. There's also hooligans that do a bleed occasionally. Nibbles, drop it! Kistia Manaheart screams as she goes into the second phase. First boss here, Kistia Manaheart. She starts with an 80% DR that gets reduced by 20% each time Nibbles gets to 20%. So then once Nibbles gets to 20%, Nibbles will then start casting on the boss, putting 100% damage amp on the boss, making her destabilized. This is when you use the concealed pistol, and that plus all of your offensive CDs, you also very frequently have your damage potion back available.
Do you think it's worth it to play a Mythic Plus character who will not be meta without teammates, only Pug? What? Worth it how? I mean, it's just like asking someone, it's like, yo, can I have beans and broccoli, or should I get the steak? You know, you got to make that choice, Matic.
For this burn, it's possible to actually one-phase it with all of the damage amps, especially if everybody has their offensive CDs.
Nerf balance blizzard. What is this? How's Ele Shaman supposed? Exactly. Boomkin is busted.
Trying to save time in that way. It's a little bit hard to heal during the burn, but it's not the hardest thing ever. Then you have to do the food serving minigame, which people ask about frequently. It's not as bad as it was at the beginning of the expansion. You do end up getting a 10% damage amp for food serving. Then you take all the trash from the second boss with the second bloodlust of the dungeon. That's fairly frequent. I view the food serving phase as a way for most people to be able to get their offensive cooldowns available for the bloodlust and for the boss. So the second boss, the main mechanic of this is like you blow up the green barrels with either the circles or the shots. If you blow up too many of the other barrels, you're not gonna have enough hiding spots. So really try to avoid blowing up the wrong color barrel. The green barrel is the only one that needs to even get blown up. So easy fight. Third trash area. The third trash
he didn't
area,
cover he didn't cover how many people can hide behind the barrels. Is it one person hiding per one barrel? Or does each person need their own barrel to hide? Yeah, what Daily said. If you don't really want to wait long in queue, you roll like a meta class. If you don't play meta, you're gonna wait for an invite for a long time. Bond barrel, one person per. Oof.
Only one that needs to even get blown up. So easy fight. Third trash area. The third trash area is very much dictated by one specific mob. It's a war. I view the food stock, but it's a massive fight. Third trash area. The third trash area is very much dictated by one specific
There's a curse
mob.
here. Curse of Doom.
Warlock. Now, the Warlocks, they have 3 abilities that you need to know about. First one is Dark Pact. It will shield themselves. It will take a little bit of HP off of the Warlock, but it's a massive shield. Then the Warlock will try to cast Drain Soul onto players to heal themselves. This is a premium meld. Like, this is probably the best meld in the season. It makes the Warlock so
of course it's meldable.
Give
Ele Shaman Feign Death.
Doom. It's a 10-second long curse that tries to one-shot somebody. You need a decurse in this dungeon. I view that you need a decurse in this dungeon, but in theory, the way that you can deal with the Curse of Doom is you can stack up with a couple of people to try to split the damage from the Curse of Doom, which is fine. But, like, I think that you probably just want a decurse. The other mobs that are in this area that are kind of relevant are the Flayers. They have a casted 60% DR that can be soothed. So any Enrage Dispel here is fantastic. And then you have Fellmaster Lucy, which she is probably the hardest hitting mob in any singular dungeon this season. She does way too much damage. I would walk around her. You can literally just walk to the right and skip. I have not found a singular reason to pull that mob. All right, so I made it to the third boss. Third boss is fairly cyclical, where he'll drop an axe on the ground. The person who's targeted with the axe needs to just drop it underneath the boss. Then you spread for an ability called
drop it
Furrow
under
Crash,
the boss.
make sure that nobody's stacked. Then the boss casts an ability called Demonic Rage, which is a tank mechanic. The tank needs to slowly move the boss around the room and conserve space, making this really hard for melee as well. There's also a 30% damage amp while this is happening, and I don't think that people really realize that there's a 30% damage amp. The cast of the Demonic Rage as well, if players aren't topped from the Infernal Crash, the Demonic Rage can one-shot you. Now, the last trash area, we've already talked about most of the mobs that are kind of relevant here. The only mob that's relevant in the last trash area is a mob called the Defiled Golem. These mobs are pretty tough. They do a lot of AoE from an ability called Defile Slam. They drop a bunch of garbage on the ground from the beams as well. And the last boss, actually, funnily enough, you can start RP while you're fighting said Golem, but the last boss is also kind of easy, where you kill Vile Fiends and Imps, you take the Warlock Gate after the circle goes off.
My boy has said everything is easy since the first minute of the video.
I also did notice that there are some golems that
I'm
are
suspicious.
around this last area that you can activate to help you if you have Engineering 25. Not tested this at all. Not sure if this is worth. If somebody can comment down in the comment section about whether or not this is worth, that'd be fantastic. But there is some Engineering 25 golems that are around. All right, Din and Alarak.
Wait, he didn't even
Din
talk
and
about the
Alarak goes to the gate after
boss.
the circle goes well. And the last boss, actually, funnily enough, you can start RP while you're fighting said golem. But the last boss is also kind of easy, where you kill Vile Fiends and Imps, you take the Warlock gate after the circle goes off.
Okay.
I also did notice that there are some golems that are kind of scattered around.
That's it. Doesn't she have like a Fellhound too?
On this last area that you can activate to help you if you have Engineering 25. Not tested this at all. Not sure if this is worth. If somebody can comment down in the comment section about whether or not this is worth, that'd be fantastic. But there is some Engineering 25 golems that are around. All right, Din and Alarak. Din and Alarak still has.
That's
the
it.
offering
I feel like he missed critical things.
game in the first area. This is anecdotal. This is not part of the guide, but I do think that this is probably one of the better dungeons on the season. I know that most people were going to hate on this dungeon.
He likes
this dungeon's actually
Den.
a lot better. Now, the first area, talking about the mobs that are relevant, the Spirits of Hunger. They summon a totem that puts a curse onto players, lowering their
Oh, that
max
totem
HP.
has to die.
It channels a party-wide AoE onto players as well. Very dangerous. Curse Dispel is super
Oh
valuable.
my
to make sure that you
god,
don't
look at
have
this health.
reduced max HP. There's also another mob in this first area called the Territorial Matriarch. It's like a bear type mob. These are very scary enrage mobs. They enrage all nearby bears with their roar for 60 seconds.
Too
and
many
they do a ton of
casters.
tank damage. An enrage dispel is not required here, but it's very nice for specific.
Remember when Blizzard took away a lot of our kicks and they said they weren't going to add that many casters? And then you see 2-3 casters per pack and you're like, wait, what?
Going through this first area, like if you have, say, an evoker or like an AoE soothe, even like a hunter potentially, you can actually go and do the right side pull as the first pull of the dungeon. Whereas if you don't have like an enrage dispel, maybe you want to go and do the left side pull first and separate out the amount of bears that you pull.
They fix a lot of the bad of them.
All right, first
Okay,
boss,
okay.
we got the Build a Bear, which is trademarked by Terrathal. Now, Poison Dispel and AMS are really nice on this fight. You have to soak mushrooms periodically. That's kind of the main mechanic. The boss is going to run into sections of the room and empower every 33% HP. He always runs to the closest empower zone, so the tank will decide what order to empower him. Doing bones first as the empowerment is kind of the strat. Now, also something to kind of note, there's also an alchemy table to the right of the boss room, which is a 1% versatility buff. Barely anybody grabs this on beta, but it still exists. So we killed off the Build-A-Bear. We make it to the
1% versus good.
There is constant pushing wins. Now, there are some safe spots where the wind...
He just skipped the whole section. Isn't there a shitload of trash before the gauntlet?
Push or damage you. These are normally indicated by non-iced ground. Now, talk about the mobs. The first mob that's in this area is the Frigid Mauler. He is a required kick. He has a 50% haste to down. This is, again, basically a required kick. Another mob that's in this area is the Glacial Revenant. This is probably the most dangerous mob in this area. It's really high.
Don't worry, everything is easy. Bro, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's all easy.
Damage.
You're not covering it.
Spread whenever you have these in your pull. The Avatar of Determination. This is another pretty annoying mob. He has an AoE hit that roots the entire party. It's also like large AoE ground effect denial. So you're kind of huddled into this really small safe spot, and then this Avatar Determination is doing this stupid ground denial. Really annoying mob. And then at the very end of this gauntlet, you have the Winter Squall, which this mob can be skipped, and somebody can start the RP for spawning the boss. This mob just pulses AoE on you while you're inside the circle. So what some teams are doing is they're having their 3 DPS and their healer stand inside the circle and hit the Winter Squall while the tank goes and channels the Power of Friendship mechanic to get the boss started, to skip some of the RP. The Winter Squall itself can be skipped, but it is a ridiculous amount of count, and I think it's worth doing. Now the third boss. The third boss is fairly straightforward. It summons 2 ads. You kill one of the ads. It drops a snow patch on the ground. You use these snow patches to prevent pushback. There's 2 strategies for how to deal with these ads. Your tank can either instantly move the boss on top of one ad, then you kill it, then you move the boss on top of the second ad, then you kill it.
Okay.
The alternative is you CC one of the ads, then you move the boss on top of the other one instantly. You kill and then you'll kill the second ad after.
What is he saying?
After the Frozen Tempest cast, pushback happens. So you're going to either kill both ads before the pushback, or you'll kill one ad, then do the pushback, then kill the second ad.
He doesn't even know what he's
I
saying.
think it's a lot higher boss damage to do the second version of this, where you're slowly cleaving off the boss and not worrying about needing to prio down the ads. Notably as well, after an ad is killed, a circle will spawn for anybody in the party to soak before moving to the next ad. If you end up not soaking this, it's going to put a nasty dot on you. Now, final boss area. The trash in this final boss area is pretty tough. The Totem Caller has an ability called Magma Totems. They do a ton of damage. But the upside is that they nearly get one shot if they're targeted directly. It's just a very standard totem. The Mystic, this mob has an Arc Lightning kick. And then the Warbringer, this is the mob that's actually really hard. He has a very stupid
Those totems are easy for Boomy to just Moonfire, but Ele doesn't have like a quick... Unless they have no health, you can just Frost Shock them.
AoE dot. And so that's the main source of AoE damage in this final area, and makes the trash quite hard. The final boss.
Did he even cover this trash?
And then the Warbringer, this is the mob that's actually really hard. He has a very stupid AoE dot.
Okay.
And so that's the main source of AoE damage in this final area, and makes the trash quite hard. The final boss. The main premise of this fight is you're going to drop the Echoing Maul images along the wall. They're going to try to run towards the center of the room later, so keeping them clumped up and on the same side is really nice. Then, the boss will cast an ability called Overwhelming Onslaught. Now, the tank can actually bait where the safe zone
that's a lot
is
of damn.
and allow melee DPS to have full uptime. Zul'Jara notably always jumps behind the tank. Then, after the Overwhelming Onslaught cast concludes, there is a circle that's on the ground. It looks like it should maybe be group soaked, but it is a tank soak circle that happens after the initial dot.
Okay.
Melee DPS need to be
tank
very
soak
careful about
only.
this thing. And so, then we drop the Echoing Maul images along the wall.
Yeah, those totems are
Then the
going to
boss
kill
will cast an ability called
everybody.
Fury of the War God, where the Echoing Maul images are going to try to run
Oh,
towards the middle
I
of the room
see.
and contact Zul'Jara. If one of them contacts her, somebody will likely die. So the best thing that you can kind of do is put a bunch of the Echoing Maul images
blocking.
along the same side of the wall. That way you're only playing keep away on one quadrant, let's say. One of the harder dungeons of the season is the Blinding Veil. Similar to Temple Sethros, it's just got a lot of
Blinding
damage.
Veil.
Nothing in this dungeon is like especially challenging mechanically, but the damage intake in this place is quite high. And right off the bat, you have a decision. Are we going to go right or are we going to go left? I've personally found going right to be a little bit
Bro, what?
easier, but
Why was I on 720p? What the fuck is that?
the pulls are significantly smaller. Pretty much every single team went left on the PTR, so I'm going to make this guide.
Don't worry,
under
it's
assumption
easy.
that You're supposed to go left, even though I did find going right to be quite a bit easier. Now, first and foremost,
Even though
do
going
not
right's
pull
easy.
a Belcher into the first pull with Lust. While you do normally want to pull very large with Bloodlust, this Belcher mob is egregious. You're going to be very likely to wipe to the insane amount of AoE damage that the Belcher does on top of Stalker Bleeds.
What's the Belcher?
So
Oh,
we're
the
talking about some of
Belcher
the
right
mobs.
here. This
Stalker
guy.
Bleeds and Belchers have pulsing AoE effects. These need to be defensive. There's Lashers, which they're like initially rooted into the ground. Whenever these mobs die, they do a ground effect called Pollen Surge, which is a 5% heal every 3 seconds and a 50% attack speed amp. As the tank, you need to move the mobs out of the Pollen Surge.
Oh no.
The last kind of notable mob here is a Spell Sower. It has a volley cast, which is a required kick. This is usually how people end up dying in this area. This mob actually does require
There's
multiple
puddles that
people on it
buff
with
the
a kick
trash.
order.
Oh no,
Probably
from the
don't
little
pull multiple of them.
lashers.
This mob is kind of annoying with the volley cast. It's also a mob that like runs at dormant flowers, but like I don't think that guy does anything. All right, so we make the first boss. Light Blossom Trinity, which on this most recent reset actually ended up getting buffed. I don't really think that the fight does all too much. The notable mechanics is Thorn Blade, which puts a bleed onto people. You need to be pressing a defensive for this. It is indicated by...
Why do his circles look like that? Mine did not look like that. I did this yesterday, unless they changed it.
Giant green circle.
Because he's on
players.
PTR, right?
Then the Light Blossom Beam will go out from one of the Light Blossom Trinity. You need to be intercepting the seeds for the Light Blossom Beam. There's an occasional AoE damage hit from Bedrock Slam, but again, this fight's kind of light on mechanics. So then you make it to the second
That's
boss.
it?
Akuz, the Light Hunter, where he will
Akuz.
occasionally root players, and if you can break a root on this fight, you actually don't need to stack in melee. Else, after the knockback, you're going to want to run all the way into melee.
No, dude. Is this a Spirit Walk key so we can break root? I know we can break the root with Stone Form and Spirit Walk, but I think that's all we got.
The boss.
Damn.
Notably as well, Disorients actually break the roots for some reason. I think Meld also works.
Oh,
from memory,
Disorient
but
breaks
I
the
played a lot
root.
of Druid throughout the PTR. I think so I always shapeshifted it, but I believe that Meld works on it. Then he'll target you and fixate you. Run away if you're fixated. If for some reason you jump off the platform while you're fixated, you get sent back to the entrance of the dungeon. Don't ask me how I know. All right, but then you jump down, and most of the trash is roughly the same. So we made it to the third boss, Light Warden Ruia.
We just missed all the trash from here from the previous boss to here.
This boss will
Petals.
shapeshift, doing different mechanics in different forms. Pulverizing Strike and the AoE Bleed are probably the two most dangerous abilities. I try to defensive in any time that the Pulverizing Strike is being cast onto me. And the notable thing about the AoE bleed is that it's a grievous effect, and it will not go away until you are healed to full. But that's a fairly easy fight. So then you make it to the last
That's
area
a
of trash.
fairly easy
Most of this trash is
fight.
skipped because there's just like a lot of belchers, there's a lot of
Easy,
hydras,
easy.
there's a lot of mobs that are in this area that do an insane amount of damage. So the meta strategy was to skip a lot of this stuff. Now there is a mob that you can't skip called the Potatoed Matriarch. I suspect that people will figure out a way to get around the trigger for the Potatoed Matriarch, but at this current time, I do not know what it is. So we'll talk about the mechanics of the Potatoed
Super
Matriarch.
easy, fairly
First
easy.
off, that mob summons a
Same
bunch of
trash,
ads,
more
puts poisons
Starfall.
into players, and it's actually a very scary mob, especially whenever it's combined with the Belcher. There is a pack of 3 birds that have a Disorient cast, which is commonly pulled with this Potatoed Matriarch. They're kind of littered throughout the
Why is he saying it like that? Potatoed.
dungeon, but you never really pull them until this very end area. I never have a Disorient go off, except for exactly at this point in time where I'm pulling the Potatoed Matriarch into this kind of river section, and then somebody misses a kick. So you kill the Matriarch, you're moving forward. There's a sleeping Hydra. Do not wake that guy up. They do some stupid beams onto players, and they do absolutely ridiculous damage. You basically would play it solo if you were intentionally playing it. Do not pull that mob. There's also Belchers that are like patrolling around this last boss area. Do not pull them. Like, stop pulling this shit at the very end. It's terrible for you. Then that leads us to the last boss, Zyket. This is probably the hardest fight in all of Mythic Plus this season. He is
Really?
a very hard-hitting, high-damage intake encounter.
Hardest
Now, the
boss.
boss, he spawns plants that need to be killed off quickly. After you end up killing them
Oh.
off, you'll hit the plants with a targeted beam. The plants will do casts, so interrupts and stops are very valuable to be able to stop the plants from doing group-wide damage. It's actually a pretty high amount of damage done during this phase. Then the boss will spawn balls that slowly move towards the boss. You're going to want to soak them, but getting more than one stack of this orb debuff without a massive defensive is absolutely deadly. A
Oh.
common strategy is like DPS and healers get one stack, and then the tank will try to get the rest, kind of similar to Veximus. But also this boss has a massive hitbox, and so even as the tank, it's really hard to get out of the boss's hitbox. So immunities are a premium for soaking. What we did during a couple of our runs on the PTR on higher levels of this, whereas we would have like all of our defensives pressed on the first round of balls that got soaked. Then you would use Holy Paladin on their horse. They would bubble and run and try to soak as many as possible. Then you would have Rogue
But doesn't that soak give you extra damage?
cloak and then try to soak as many as possible, and you really just do not want to soak any of these balls if possible. All right, Void Scar Arena, this is the final dungeon that we got to talk about today. I think it's actually a fairly low difficulty
Wow, we're getting through the whole
dungeon in
video.
terms of
That's
wipe
awesome.
potential. The first decision that you have to make is going right versus going left.
You
I
get a
have
nice
determined that
damage
the
off
left
to
mini
take them
boss is
all.
demonic. The right mini boss is much easier in comparison.
Easy way to
I
die.
think that the hardest part on the right side, I think, is actually
Yeah, I know it leaves a dot, but I think you do extra damage too, though.
going to be getting the pull gathered. There's a lot of really annoying kicks. There's like a demoralizing shout where there's like a damage down from the brutalizer. There's magma totems that are going off from shamans, and there's going to be volleys from other casters. So like there's actually a lot of kicks that are happening in the first pull. But if you can get the first pull gathered, it's really easy to control. But the getting
just
it
got
gathered
wrecked.
part is obviously going to be the most annoying part. So assuming that you're going right, the right side mini boss spawns orbs that you need to kill before their cast resolves. Finding a good balance of mini boss DPS versus orb DPS is actually going to be very important. Then once you make it into the arena room, you're going to be getting a buff based off of what side you came from. The left side ends up giving a versatility buff, and the right side gives a mastery buff. I believe that the mastery amount is dynamic. I was getting 5% on Balance Druid, but it's probably different based on the class. You're
Dynamic
likely to just
mastery
get
buff.
mastery again. A versatility buff tends to be a little bit better than a mastery buff, depending on the amount that you're getting, and stat DRs and like a bunch of other reasons. But
It's so easy. Our group just wiped.
I'm just making the assumption that you're going to be getting the mastery
It's
buff.
very
So you
simple.
make it into the arena room, and the trash in this area spawns in waves. It also runs into the room in weird
Just
ways.
wiped,
where
guys,
the
but it was
trash
pretty
packs
easy.
are individually very easy, but if you chain body pull trash packs on accident, it can become really annoying and wipe you in a hurry. There's also, talking about the important mobs here, there's a protective turtle. This mob shields itself for 20 seconds. Once the cast ends, it takes bonus damage while it's recharging its shield. Chittagoth, this is a named mob where he has an insidious aura pulsing AoE that's pretty deadly. There's also a mob that has a tank shred armor cast in this room that's pretty important. And then there's like a big guy who does like a targeted dash. Anytime he like crashes into the wall, it does a medium amount of AoE damage. All right, first boss, Tazra.
Tazra.
Umbral dash lines, which it's really easy to not hit one another in a 5-man, but the Umbral dash line dashes a clone to you. Then, after that, Umbral Rupture is cast by these clones. So at these clones' position, there will be a pool that drops, and making sure that the boss is tanked in a way and making sure that you charge these Umbral dash lines into a good spot to where your melee have 100% uptime, it's going to be hard, but it's a pivotal thing that you're going to need to be looking to do as a tank. And the Umbral dash as well, it also leaves a dot. The healer, in this instance, needs to have you at 100% HP before the orbs end up spawning. Whenever the orbs spawn, there's also a massive hit of damage.
Bro, he
and
just
at a high
thread
enough
that
level, you're just gonna
needle.
get one shot. Okay, so we down the first boss. We make it to the second trash area. There's only a couple mobs that are in this area that are.
Yo,
that are
can
notable.
these lines, can you go through more
And the
than
Umbral
one
dash
mine?
As well, it also leaves a dot. The healer in this instance needs to have you at 100% trash area HP before the.
They're about to
orbs
stack
end up
all the
spawning.
lines here.
Whenever
Like,
the
is that
orbs spawn, there's
okay?
also a massive hit of damage, and at a high enough key level, you're just gonna get one shot.
Like, they're all going here. Like, is that?
Okay, so we down the first.
There's
boss,
no way you
make
can
it to the
stack
second
for those,
trash
right?
area. There's only a couple mobs that are in this area that are notable. The Harrower. This is like a big bat. It does a lot of group damage. It has a group soak and a very scary channel that goes onto players. There's another mob called the Brutal Overseer. He has like a shield
Each line is a
himself,
dot.
and
Okay.
he casts an ability called Brutal
Maybe
Slam.
that's why he
which does-
cuts the video.
It's like 5
Not
ticks
that
for a
easy.
massive AoE hit. And then there's Screamer mobs in this area. Their cast is an AoE fear, so it's a required kick. Okay, so we made it onto the second boss, Atroxus. I don't really know what this boss does. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think he does anything. He spawns toxic creepers occasionally inside of this like.
This
pit
guy
of
doesn't do
water.
anything. He's
The
easy.
tank then pulls the boss on top of the pit where the creeper is spawning from. You swap to the creeper, you kill it off. That's pretty much it. I have noticed as well, touching a puddle puts a poison dot onto you, but there's not a lot of incoming damage I've seen, and I feel like this fight doesn't have a ton of lethality. Okay, so we killed the second boss. We made it to the third trash area. There's 2 mob types in this third trash area that are kind of annoying. The Devouring Brutalizer, he tries to devour a nearby mob, and if he consumes the mob, he will heal the Brutalizer for 50% of the mob's remaining health. If you actually target and kill the mob before the Devour cast goes off, you skip.
Everyone is
cast
doing plus 20
so
this season?
having, like,
Yeah,
target volume
probably.
and being able to quickly assess.
I
Hey,
think last season, I remember being like, yeah, people are going to do like 24, maybe higher. And somebody laughed at me. They're like, no way, bro. 23 Brazil max. And I was like, bro, just watch.
which mob is this Brutalizer?
Weren't people timing
That's an
25s?
important thing to be able to pay attention to. And so that mob can be annoying, especially if you let him chain devour mobs. But if you kill it fast enough, it's not a big deal. There's another mob called the Agitated Void Scythe. It's got a pretty nasty poison that he periodically puts onto players. Okay, then we make it to the last boss, Canaris. So this fight is pretty
Final
much
boss.
a DPS do the mechanics, healer heal kind of fight, where all the DPS players are going to be targeted with an ability called Gravitatic Orbs, where you get tethered to an orb and you have to take these orbs near the planet.
Okay.
The tank, he should try to move the boss near one of the planets. That way your melee DPS can maintain near 100% uptime. If you have multiple DPS, I'm sorry, somebody's going to have to get out of melee range. There's also another ability called Void Cascade, where as a ranged, I run away from the boss and then run either clockwise or counterclockwise to dodge the balls. I've seen some tanks on the PTR just face tanking the Void Cascade and healing themselves up with Death Strike or whatever against the Void Cascade hits. I'm not so certain that that's required. Maybe if... I don't know if melee DPS can actually get targeted by it, but maybe if a melee DPS gets targeted, that would be something that's preferred to just have the tank face tank it. That way your melee DPS can continue to hit the boss, but I normally just ran away from this. The only other thing notable about Charonus is that the black hole, if you ever contact it, it silences you for 12 to 15 seconds. Personally, I had a situation where I got silenced once. Got really mad, and then I got silenced a second time, and then I intentionally killed myself because I would rather be battle res than silenced for 15 seconds. So, that was pretty cringe. You can't really play the game. If your healer for some reason ever contacts a black hole,
I would
it's
rather
gonna
be
wipe.
battle res than silence for 15
Hypothetically, if it happens,
seconds.
you're probably gonna wipe. All right, that's it. Terathal also wanted me to show this picture of a cat at the very end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoy Mythic Plus content, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you...
Terathal wanted me to show a video of this cat. Yo, Bon, Ellie's feeling fun with Farce here? Yes. Yes, it is. Alright, who's got a raid guide? What's the name of the raid? Guys, we need to learn these. We just learned all of Mythic Plus dungeons thanks to Thedos. Thedos. Thanks to Thedos. Alright, we have to learn the raid bosses now. Does Thedos have a raid boss one? Oh, links don't work, Ian. I gotta set that up. QM0220 eye level people learn with the Tedo tech. Ready check pool. Are those good? Yeah, I don't see one. Did he really put Ellie at A tier?
All right, it's tier list time. I've been putting this on and Arms Warrior. It's that there are compositions that don't include both of these. And the reason for this is going to be I'm going to fill out some of these comp fillers. So really good comp fillers: Devour Demon Hunter, Windwalker Monk, Balanced Druid. I think Frost is quite a good comp filler. This Elemental Shaman specialization is really good. Wherever Outlaw Rogue is.
This Elemental Shaman specialization is really good. Okay. Ready check pool. What's the name? Raid guide. It's like Abyss. Oh, is this it? Wait, don't I want the mythic ones though? Shit. Do we want... I guess we just do heroic normal first. The Venomous Abyss. They haven't released Patreon yet? They haven't released Mythicus on Patreon? What the... All boss preview 3 weeks ago.
Hey, we pulling?
Jokes aside, Telos probably makes video for new players. That's true.
What's up? I'm Jim Fro, and after weeks of testing and deep diving into every boss on the PTR, we wanted to give you a quick little preview of what to expect inside the Venomous Abyss, the new raid coming in Midnight Season 2. Early access to our official normal and heroic guides start dropping this week on Patreon, so if you want the full guides before everyone else, check out patreon.com/readycheckpool. Alright, let's jump right into the first boss, Nexali the Soul Coiler.
Nexali.
This one is all about ad management, where you're trying to stop these restless Amani ads from getting to the soul well that's in the middle of the room. The ads have a magic absorb shield that forces them to walk towards the soul well. Letting them get to the soul well is really bad because the boss will instantly...
Holy shit, this looks like a good Ellie fight.
Doing raid damage, and on heroic, giving the boss a stack of increased raid damage. It's not a way,
dodge shit, kill the ads, put the boss on the ads.
Your healers. Then in the intermission, you beat up 2 Echo ads while soaking the big red fire soak. Anyone who didn't soak gets a small circle that they need to drop on top of the previously killed Amani ads to stop them from respawning. Once the 2 Echo ads are dead, you start...
Why do we want to stop them from respawning when I can do big damage? Yeah, I can turn on the volume.
Start phase 2, which is basically just phase 1, and you have until the boss reaches full energy to kill it, or you're dead. Then it's off to the second boss, the Entombed Sentinel.
What was the end?
Ads are dead, you start phase 2, which is basically just phase 1, and you have until the boss reaches full energy to kill it, or you're dead. Then it's off to the second boss, the Entombed Sentinels. There's 2
big damage, baby. We're not killing those ads. We're letting them respawn for the funnel.
Bosses that you need to split your raid in half for and keep them over 40 yards apart. One team on the left and one team on the right.
Okay,
each side
team
has
one,
their own
team
boss mechanics to deal with. The green sentinel spawns an ad that pulses raid damage until it's killed, and you need to kill that ad before it spawns another ad. There's also a bunch of orb droplets that need players to run over them before they explode. On heroic, once the droplets are destroyed, they spawn some spikes that shoot at the boss. The red sentinel puts out some magic dots on several players that need to be dispelled. And there's a group soak that needs to be soaked near the edge of the platform because on heroic, a few seconds after the soaks happen, everyone drops blood under their feet that expands outward. When the bosses reach 100 energy, they smash into each other and start...
Do we want to be on the side that spawns the ad or the side that spawns the blood? I feel like as Ele Shaman, our 2 target is not the best. But it will be more overall damage. We just go side with ad, right?
Swapping spit. Gross.
Yeah,
While this is happening, the bosses can't be damaged, and the raid needs to do a little math. Everyone gets 4 orbs above their head, split between green and red. To clear them, you need to run into another player whose green orbs combine with yours to make exactly 4. So if you
What?
got 1 green orb, find someone with 3 green orbs to clear the debuff. Once all debuffs are cleared, everyone goes back to their side.
Huh?
Someone with green orbs above their head. This is happening, the bosses can't be damaged, and the raid gets to do a little math. Everyone gets 4 orbs above their
Oh, I see. He's got 3 red and a green.
head, split between green and red. To clear them, you need to
I can't. What the fuck is this graphics? So he has to. So he can clear with this guy.
run into another player whose green
So this is a no.
orbs combine with yours to make exactly
Okay, so they fucked up.
4. So if you got 1 green orb, find someone with 3 green orbs to clear the debuff.
Wait, how did they
Exactly
clear?
4. So if you got
Did they
1
just
green orb,
did it
find someone
change
with
their
3 green
thing and then
orbs
it
to
worked?
Clear the debuff. Once all debuffs are cleared, everyone goes back.
It's about the green orbs. I don't understand.
That expands outward. When the bosses reach 100 energy, they smash into each other and start
1 green orb. You can go from 1 green to 2 and then 4. Okay, so
swapping
he goes
spit.
1 green.
Gross. While this is happening, the
Oh.
bosses can't be damaged and the raid gets to do a little math. Everyone gets 4 orbs above their head,
So this guy needs 3 green orbs.
split between green and red.
So he's taking 2. So if he takes this, he should have 3.
To clear them, you need to run into another player whose green
Okay, he doesn't. So he does this guy twice because they'll get 2 and then
orbs
2.
combine with yours to make exactly 4. So if you got 1
Okay.
green orb,
Okay,
find
I get it
someone
now.
with 3 green orbs to clear the debuff. Once all debuffs are cleared, everyone
I
goes
got
back
it.
to their side, starting
Yo, I'll just wait for the weak aura to solve it for me, homies.
the main phase again, but with the bosses now swapped. Boss 3 is Vashnik the Malignant. Once you walk into the
Vashnik.
room, you'll see a pool in the middle of the room and 3 snake fountains spread around it. The one in the middle, all the way in the back, is red blood. The one on the right is purple shadow, and the one on the left is orange fire.
Yo, this room is low-key W room, bro. Look at this. This picture looks cool.
You need to put the boss in between 2 of the fountains and deal with their
Alright.
abilities for a bit. Then when the boss gets the full energy, he'll select the next nearest fountains and you deal with their mechanics together.
I
The
see.
fountain that gets selected twice in a row gets its abilities empowered, which means you'll need to choose which empowered fountains you want to deal with. Each fountain hits the raid with raid damage, spawns its own unique adds
Oh,
that try to get
baby. 5 ads? You know that's all Ele right there. 1, 2. You know how many targets my chain lightning hits? 5. Do you know how many targets my grandma chain lightning hits? Also 5. Surprisingly, there's 5 slimes.
get to the pool in the middle and puts a unique debuff on the raid. Red blood spawns an ad that can't be CC'd and once it's killed splits into smaller little ads. Red's debuff is a giant heal absorb that can only be healed off by having several other players standing in your circle. Purple shadow spawns a bunch of ads that can be CC'd and spawn a bunch of swirlies on the ground when they die. Purple's debuff causes the affected player to drop exploding pools under their feet. And Orange Fire spawns 2 ads that also can be CC'd and pulse damage. When either of these ads are killed, it causes a massive explosion and dot to the entire raid. The orange debuff is a circle that's a massive explosion and the player with the circle needs to get far away from the raid to reduce the damage. There's a few other mechanics, but the fountains are the most important part of the fight. You just keep rotating which 2 fountains to deal with until the boss dies. Of
Okay.
course, the official Vashnik guide will probably have a recommended fountain order, so check back for that. The next boss, boss number 4, is the Lost Explorers.
Lost
This
Explorers.
is the council style fight of the tier. There's 3 turtles, 2 that need to be tanked, and 1 that just walks around in a circle tossing
No, bro, they're not stacked.
random stuff at players. You can never let all 3 stack together or they gain a massive shield. There's also Morzahi, who you don't actually fight, you mostly just care about his energy. One of the things
This
Gebo
is
throws is
bullshit.
a box that contains a fish. Someone needs to pick up the fish and before Mozahi reaches full energy, smack one of the turtles with it. That turtle permanently gains an ultimate ability and you can't choose the same turtle twice. So your raid gets to decide which ultimate abilities you want to deal with first. Nama does 3 big stomp soaks that need several players in each one. Iku puts big fire circles on some players and big frost circles on others. These eventually leave patches behind and you need to run into the opposite type to clear your debuff.
Ah.
And Gebo throws down
Oh, I
mushrooms and a
see.
huge bomb. When the bomb explodes, you jump on the mushroom to bounce over the blast. Again, the full
Yo, can we gust a wind over this shit?
guide will have a recommended order, but the main idea is that you'll activate the easiest ultimates first and save the hardest one for last. There's a bunch of other mechanics that matter, but that's the main idea. Once you've killed the 3 ninjas, you can move on to boss 5, Scissorak. This boss has one repeating phase, and the main idea is that the boss is constantly trying to push you off of the platform.
Oh my god.
There's these winds that spawn outside of the platform and eventually cast and blast the entire raid off the edge.
Oh my
The way
god,
you
these
stop
guys
this
are
from
having a
happening
great
is
time.
with the green orbs that targeted players need to drop on the opposite side of where the winds spawn. When the boss casts Dig In, the winds will blast the raid one at a time, and you'll need to get pushed into an orb so it explodes and bounces everyone back onto the platform.
Oh,
It's a
that's pretty
sick
cool. That's
mechanic
pretty
even
cool.
more fun because the boss takes 30% increased damage while it's happening.
No, man. Once again, Melee get fucking rewarded, bro. We better have time spirals for this part of the fight. Melee just get the fucking move, full DPS while moving. Range have to do everything.
Cool
Range do all the mechanics.
The first is when a bunch of players get a wind circle with a line that's pointing in the direction that they're about to be pushed in. What makes this cool is that two players can aim their lines at each other, and when the winds go off, they'll smash into one another and cancel out the push. The second is the tank combo. There's 3 possible abilities: a white frontal for the tanks.
Hey, as long as that wind phase is 1.2 seconds or 1.2 minutes in between phases, I'm happy.
Frontal that the raid
Otherwise, we
needs
better
to
have time
soak, and a bunch
spirals.
of tornadoes that shoot outward. These can happen in any order, and the same abilities can happen multiple times in a row, so the tanks are going to need to be on their toes for this one. Pretty cool boss. Now, the Twin Fangs is the next boss.
Twin
it's a 2-target
Fangs.
cleave fight, and the main
Voltaic Blaze better spread here if we run that talent.
mechanic of this one is
This is borderline whether it's spreadable or
to
not.
manage the permanent eternal venom dot that goes on players from different abilities. Some of them are unavoidable from the boss, as well as the
We
little
might
snake
be
heads
enhanced on
that do
2
targeted
fights.
frontal lines, and the orbs that players need to run over. There's also a bunch of dodge your feet mechanics that will give you extra stacks if you get hit by
Race to World first, we're gonna have 10 Arms Warriors on this fight. You heard it here first. 10 Arms Warriors on Twin Fangs.
any of them. You can't ever get to 10 stacks of the debuff or you're dead. The only way to remove the stacks is by having everyone get into the group soak that spawns in front of the boss. The boss will hit 3 times, removing 3 stacks and turning those stacks into a big red slime that needs to be hard focused and killed. The more stacks that are removed, the bigger the ad
This
gets.
fight's gonna
Then
suck
there's
for
the
us.
intermission where
If Chain Lightning hits the 2 bros and this guy, then we have potential. If it doesn't, we're
one boss
fucking
goes to the
cooked,
middle and
man.
does the classic rotating
this doesn't look
frontal,
like in
and
Chain
the other
Lightning
boss
range. The
moves
first
to a
one did,
random
though.
other side of the platform, and you have to big dodge your feet during this. Then the boss in the middle meets back up with the other boss, and you rinse and repeat. Obviously, you need to kill them around the same time, and then it's off to the next
Boomy greater than Ellie for raid. Honestly, for some fights like this, maybe, yeah.
boss. The Coiled Altar is boss 7, and it has quite a bit going on, so I'm just
I heard the Coiled Altar is fucking insane. We're about to find out, boys.
gonna go phase by phase. In phase 1, you're fighting Zul'Jan, and the whole phase he's throwing out these green orbs that explode at the end of the phase. To get rid of them, you need to aim the tank frontal at the orbs, which destroys them and puts a stacking dot on the raid for each orb destroyed. You can also pick the orbs up by running over them, and then after a few seconds, drop them next to each other, making it much easier for the tanks to destroy multiple orbs at once. This is basically the whole first phase.
Oh,
Collect orbs,
shit.
destroy orbs, and heal through the
Yeah, you guys know who's gonna do this? Ranged. You know what Melee's gonna do? Just sit on the boss.
stacks. The only other big mechanic during phase 1 is the group soak that needs to be soaked close to the edge, and then everyone needs to run away from the blast. Once Zul'Jan dies, you start phase 2, where you fight this green ghost dude, Hexlord Malakras.
Guessing extraction button to drop them? I don't think so. I think it might just time out. This guy picks one up at some point. We can actually check.
Easier for the tanks up by running over them, and then after a few seconds, drop them next to each other, making it much easier to pick the
It
orbs
might
up by
be an
running over
extraction
them,
button.
and then after a
I don't see it on his screen. This is his debuffs.
few seconds, drop them next to each other, making it much easier for the tanks to
Yeah,
just
I'm not
running
sure,
over
yeah.
them, and then after a few seconds, drop them next to each other, making it much
Yeah, I don't
easier
know.
for the tanks to destroy
It's a timer. Just times out. All right.
multiple orbs at once. This is basically the whole first phase. Collect orbs,
He says after a few seconds. I know he says that. I'm trying to confirm.
destroy orbs, and heal through the stacks. The only other big mechanic during phase 1
People don't make mistakes, huh?
is the group soak that needs to be soaked close to the edge, and then everyone needs to run away from the blast. Once Zul'Jan dies, you start phase 2, where you fight this green ghost dude, Hexlord Malakras. The boss mind controls several players who then try to jump off of the platform to their death. You beat up the MC'd players to end the mind control, but each player you break
That's like the jailer, bro. They MC and they try to jump to their death.
out spawns 2 ghosts that fixate random targets. These ghosts can't be damaged or CC'd, so the only way to stop them from moving is by looking at them. And the only way to destroy them is with the new tank frontal. So you let them get close and stacked, and then stare at them to stop them from moving so the tank can line up the front.
Wait,
so
who stares at them?
These ghosts
Can
can't
we
be
do
damaged or
everybody one
CC'd,
person?
so
Like, can we have a
the
healer
only
just do it?
spawns 2 ghosts that fixate random targets. These ghosts can't be damaged or CC'd, so the only way to stop them from moving is by looking at them. And
That's some Super Mario type shit. Like, you know, the ghosts, yeah, they keep moving until you look at them. That's some boo shit.
the only way to destroy them is with the new tank frontal. So you let them get close and stacked, and then stare at them to stop them from moving so the tank can line up the frontal and destroy them easier. The boss also does a cast where you need to break the shield and then kick the cast.
Oh my god, it's probably the person who's fixated that have to look at them, right?
You keep doing all of this until Malacrast
Yeah, look it. He's fixated and he's looking
gets
at
to
his
1
ghost.
HP, where he
And his ghost got his hands up in the air like, yo, dog, I ain't going nowhere.
starts the intermission. During the intermission, Malacrast resurrects and heals Zul'Jan.
So we're gonna have to like not look at him so we can like move it. So like, even if that means that you're at an angle where you can't hit the boss, like you have to turn your back to the boss to stack up your ghosts.
But Zul'Jan
Oh,
also
that's
takes
gonna be
100%
so
increased
stupid.
damage during this time. So this is most
How am I
likely where
supposed
you
to
blast
parse
and blast the boss.
with the ghost I have to
After
look
that,
at?
It's on to phase 3, which is basically just phase 1 and phase 2 at the same time. Listen, during PTR, this
We
phase
need
was
time
actually
spiral,
insane.
baby.
With
Why do you have create Hellstone weak aura in combat?
tons of coordination needed for orb pickups, big DPS and healer
Wait, did he make one?
actually insane. Phase
Bro,
1 and phase 2 at the
he
same
just
time.
did one. Look,
Listen, during PTR, this phase was actually
he made it. Guess quality sucks.
insane.
He
With
actually
tons of
made the head
coordination needed
Hellstone
for
mid
orb
combat.
pickups, big DPS and healer
Why'd that guy
checks,
fall
and
off?
it felt like you had almost no room to do.
Why did
for
he
orb
fall off?
pickups, big
Oh,
DPS
he's
and healer checks.
MC'd. The MC'd person gets shown off, dude.
And it felt like you had almost no room to do any of it. So I'm pretty excited to see if they make any
See
changes
ya,
to this one
buddy.
when it goes live. As for the last boss, Ulutek,
Where's the death
Blizzard
grip?
didn't do any testing of him on the PTR, which means we can't really do a preview
No
for him.
testing.
But our official guide for Ulutek will be out as soon as he's killed on live, and we can confirm the best strat. And that's our preview. We've already started putting out the full raid guides for early access, so if you're interested in getting our guides early,
Gray parse for you? I'm not gonna gray parse. I'm gonna purple parse, baby. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Let me see. The Venomous Abyss. Mythic Guide. Oh no. Okay. Okay, listen. I cannot come unprepared. Like, I have to be ready. I have to be ready, boys. Like, okay, listen. First boss. Nek Zali. Oh, here we go. This is gonna be 7 minutes? That's too long. My brain can't pay attention for 7. All right, we'll try it. Is housing available? Wait. Yo, welcome to housing. It's up. We finally got it, chat. We're here. Let's go, baby. Finally, I can use all my decor. Is it decor or decor? What do you guys call it? Decor or decor? Housing's out, dude. We can make a house, baby. Let's go. Teleport to my plot. Let's go, baby. I think it was 12.1. Your house is going to be cheeks. I don't have one. This is a reading guide? What? I got scammed. Goated guide. This is this guy's alt. There's no way. that this goated guide, nice guide. That is, I'm calling cap. This person created alt YouTube accounts till there's no way. There's nothing is said. You just read everything. I'm not gonna read. I can't read. I play Ele Shaman. We don't read. The hell? Okay, hold on. What's the name of this boss? Neck. That neck. Give me that neck. Timu guide. Nexali, heroic, and normal. Dude, I put mythic. Why are you putting methods heroic guide up here? Maybe there is no mythic guide except that guy. Maybe that guy has the only mythic guide. Oh my god. What if it is a goated guide because it's the only guide? Search filters, duration under 3 minutes. I just want to find something. J-Funk? Alright, J-Funk. Venomous Abyss. J-Funk. Why the fuck is Ready Check Pull up here? Why is J-Funk not the top result? Like, I don't just... Are these guys paying for this? Alright, let's go. J-Funk. What's he got? That's my boy J-Funk. Alright, let me see. Where's that neck? Where's that neck? Oh, he's got them all.
Disclaimer. This is recorded on the PTR, and it's entirely possible mechanics look, behave, or are tuned differently on live servers.
Oh, hell yeah.
addition,
This is it, boys. This
These are
is
just
it.
early strategies we made on the PTR,
J-Funk.
especially on the later bosses, should only be used as a reference for what the boss abilities do.
Wait, when did he release this? 4 days ago? This is fresh AF. Fresh.
The Soul Coiler is a two-phase encounter where the boss will try to overwhelm you with the skill
Ooh, what the fuck? 2K?
of Dead Amani.
Okay, that didn't increase the quality at all. What the fuck? That's fake. 4K is fake.
Walk slowly towards the Soul Coil well in the middle of the room.
Oh, this is an
The
Ele
fight will
fight,
begin with
boys.
Soul Coil Ignition, which will just deal damage and leave swirlies you'll need to move out of. The boss does not move during this channel. The boss will then debuff several players with Essence Rend. This dispellable debuff does damage, and when it's dispelled, will leave a puddle that will slowly rotate around the room clockwise relative to where you dropped it. So you'll want to move out to the edge of the arena to save on space before you get dispelled.
Okay.
There are two tank mechanics on this fight. Hollowing Strikes, which is a stacking dot and healing reduction, and Possession Barrage.
How is this mythic when they're 35? I don't know. He probably covers the
Possession
mythic
Barrage
mechanic,
will
which is
target
what I
the
want.
current tank, and after a long cast will start a channel that shoots out spirits towards their location.
Okay,
These
this is
spirits
tank
deal
shit.
drop-off damage
I wish that they didn't include tank shit here, but it is
the
what
tank
it
wants
is.
to move away from the raid, but they can also be intercepted by players standing in the path between the boss and the tank that is targeted, so make sure you give the tank room. The last mechanic of this phase is Restless Amani. Spirits will fly towards these caskets that are along the edges of the room and begin to glow. You'll want to move your raid
This
towards
is
the
J-Funk.
largest amount of lit caskets, as shortly afterwards, raised Amani will spawn from those and begin walking towards the Soul Coil well in the middle of the room. You must prevent these ads from reaching the well.
Where's the Ele
These
Shaman on the
ads are
meters?
fully CCable and will spawn at other lit caskets throughout the room, so you'll need to keep an eye out, because if an ad reaches
Oh,
the
there they go,
middle,
there they go.
it will explode, dealing damage.
Here
and
comes the
killing
Ele
the
Sham.
nearby
Never
boss.
mind, Frosty K's
These
busted.
ads have a magic absorb shield for 25% of their health that must be broken, which will be important later. When the boss reaches 50% HP, she'll run back to the middle of the room and start the intermission. During this time, the boss will summon the Echo of Jawei. This Echo of Jawei will begin a long cast called Soul Transfer.
No
When the
Shaman
cast
on the meter.
finishes, it will deal a bunch of damage,
Enhance.
and afterwards, the ad will become active. The Echo of Jawei basically has one spell, which is
What are we crafting? If you're killing Heroic Ulatek, you're probably crafting the offhand. Like, actually, which is dog shit. Because you're crafting the offhand with that OP embellishment. And then bracers. No bonus rolls week 1? Yeah, but like the thing is the heroic dagger 6 of 6 with the crafted offhand is better than a crafted myth. Not better, but on the same level as a crafted two-handed mythic. So there's no point in crafting a two-handed weapon or a one-hander, honestly.
Called Hungering Pyre. But before we talk about that, do you remember those restless Amani ads you killed earlier? They didn't die permanently. If you broke their shields, they left their skeletons behind, and you just need to remove them, or else they'll resurrect again. Hungering Pyre is how you do this. This is a group.
If you don't raid though, and keys only, you're probably crafting a two-hander. But yeah, I think a lot of people are not gonna craft two-handers because they're gonna wait 2 weeks to start coining Ulatek on heroic. Because when you coin Ulatek on heroic, it gives you the dagger on mythic, and that's like your best in slot forever weapon, at least for the season.
Group soak centered on the current tank, which will remove any skeletons in that area. In addition, any players who do not soak this will be affected by slithering flames afterwards. This is a short debuff that gives those players the ability to burn any skeletons around them. So you want
Oh.
tanks.
Wait. How do you do this? We just
Any
don't
skeletons
soak.
in that area.
You don't
In
soak
addition,
this.
Any players who do not soak this will be affected by slithering flames afterwards. This is a short debuff that gives those players the ability to burn any skeletons around them. So you want tanks and melee to help with the initial tank soak, and have healers and range get the slithering flames and clean up the rest of the room. Once you defeat...
Oh, so you say the melee don't do any of the mechanics, they just sit there, and then the range have to go clear everything. What else is new?
the first Echo of Jawway, a second one will spawn opposite of where the first one spawned. And you repeat until that second one dies, and then you'll re-enter into Phase 2. Phase 2 is mostly a burn phase, and you may want to save Lust for this, as once the boss reaches 100 energy in this phase, she'll enrage. She gains energy passively over time, and whenever a skeleton reaches the well.
These guys just got
Zombie
wrecked. Doesn't heroic bonus roll only go to 6/6 mythic? And mythic is I'm not if you coin the last boss on heroic, I'm not sure what you definitely get it on mythic. I just don't know what track, if it's max or not. 1 of 6 mythic, there you go, there's our answer. Always coin Ulatek in resto spec. Yes, you're always coining in resto spec, so you don't accidentally coin Ele and then you don't coin the stupid trinket as Ele. But the thing is, if you accidentally coin as Ele and get the neck, and then the next week you accidentally roll or you switch to resto, I believe you can get the neck again, because they're like on different pools. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. That's what I read, that was potentially a problem.
Contains many of the same abilities she had in the first phase, but
so make sure you are resto when you coin the last boss. Yes, and you need to spend 80 crests to make your 6, 80 crests to craft an offhand. Yeah. The problem is that dagger, the little passive effect it has on it, it's worth like 1 or 2%. It's just too strong.
Invoke will cause the
it's too
rotating
strong.
pools you left with the debuffs to jump to a new location. From here, you just need to continue to deal with Restless Amani, spawning, and burn the boss while cleaving down the ads before you either get overwhelmed from the number of ads or the boss enrages. On Mythic, there are a few changes. The biggest change is that the boss will cast Grasping Depths, which will suck players towards the well.
Suck players to the well.
You'll need to have a group of players, usually melee, 1 tank, and a healer, to stand in the well to be teleported inside of it.
Oh shit! What?
There, you will need to kill a drowned Echo ad, otherwise the well will keep pulsing damage upstairs. This drowned Echo ad will continually spawn these rotating ads around it that you'll need to avoid, and has an interrupt called Soul.
Finally! The melee have a job to do. Okay, I can't sing. Finally, the melee are responsible for something. Go down, kill the ad.
Which will eject players if not interrupted. Once the ad is killed, the players downstairs will be stunned and then sent back upstairs when that stun wears off, gaining the soul exhaustion debuff, preventing them from going down again.
Oh shit. They
In
can't go down again. Damn it, we're probably all gonna have to go down.
testing, this seemed to happen periodically throughout the.
I think 2 times Arcana Weave is a safe bet. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So there's a couple of options. You're gonna get the Mythic Dagger off Ulatek by coining it on Heroic, and then you craft an offhand with the Hunter embellishment. That seems to be the strongest choice. And then bracers with Arcana Weave. You could also craft like bracers and boots with Arcana Weave, double Arcana Weave. It'll probably be slightly worse in the offhand, but at least you can stay shield, you know? Because you know what? Shield might be a little bit inferior to the crafted offhand, but shield is good because we look good in it, you know? It's good for the transmog.
Fight, and the debuff fell off before you needed to go down again, but this may be different on live, and you may need 2 groups of players instead.
Yeah, it's
Lastly,
probably 2 groups.
on Mythic, the Invoke cast in the last phase will now interrupt and silence players for 3 seconds if they are casting.
Of course it's going to interrupt players. Once again, something Melee don't care about and only range.
That does it for this boss. Moving on to the next boss, Entombed Sentinel.
Okay, let's see. How many bosses? Historically, how many bosses does your like top, not like Liquid Echo method, but like how many Liquid Echo method usually get like 5 or 6 week 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the final 2 take longer. So where did we get the first week when we did? Okay, first week we got Chimeras, got this, and this. We all got stuck on Okay, so we're probably gonna kill 3 to 4. So the first 3, maybe 4. Yeah, the offhand transmog is so bad. I mean, crafting offhand with the hunter embellishment is like it's better, but it's not like crazy better than double Arcana Weave, you know? Is the offhand craft not good? No, it is. It's the best. It's the best combination. Yo, what's up, Athenius? Like if you're a raider next week, you're just not crafting weapon. If you're a raider that's killing Ulatek on heroic in the first 2 weeks, you're coining to try to get this guy as resto spec to get this dagger. And then you're likely going to be crafting an offhand because you can put this embellishment that's the strongest, probably one of the strongest embellishments. What's it called again? Hunter's Ritual Stone on it. And then your second craft is going to be like a bracer. Yeah, you bonus as resto because all 3 of these items are your best in slot. And when you coin it on heroic, it drops as mythic. But if you coin as Ele, you have a chance to get this garbage trinket, which is bad. Also, if you coin as Ele and get the neck, and then next week you swap to resto and coin, I believe you can get the neck again. I think every specialization is on their own roll table, but don't quote me on that. I just remember reading that somewhere. But hopefully they fix that. Hopefully that's not a thing. But then if you're not a raider and you're only doing mythic plus keys, for maximum power, maximum push, you're probably crafting a 2-hander next week. 2-handed staff with that same hunter embellishment. Or you can craft the 1-hander and a shield if you really care about the transmog. And shield actually provides like 10% defensive damage to like any type of armor effect. Like if there's like a earthquake on the ground and you take a hit or something, like if it's a physical damage event, shield reduces damage taken by like 10 or 11%. It's not like super important, but there's probably a couple abilities in the keys that could be affected by shield. You can put Hunter's Ritual Stone on 2-hander. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Why wouldn't you? The Hunter's Ritual Stone should work on weapons. The offhand counts as a weapon but the shield doesn't. I mean, I can go double check right now, actually. That's actually a good point. Two-handed staff, right? The cane. Yeah, Hunter's Ritual Stone on the cane. Yeah. Is it not worth going boots, belt for those embellishments too? Which one? This 2-set thing? I don't think so, no. Is this still a thing or no? I kinda hated making the 2-set too. Oh, you can. I'd rather not have the 2-set because the 2-set locked you in. I made a mistake of not crafting like a cloak and not crafting cloak belts and or yeah, like not crafting like a belt, boots, and cloak, so I can take the 2-set off. So honestly, next week there's a good chance. There's a good chance next week I'm crafting that offhand. I'm not sure yet. But then I have to remove this. Oh god. I'm taking off my boots, I guess, and then I'm down in investment. Yeah, I screwed up. I can't. Can I still? Wait, I can't craft old stuff anymore, can I? Am I cooked? Cause I got no crest. Yes, I'm cooked, or can I still craft? Shit. No, man. I'm just saying like yeah, I know I got the sport for the I got champion boots in, but the problem is if I take this off and I craft like a offhand, I'm still down one embellishment. Cuz this by itself doesn't do shit. I mean it's not a big deal, it's fine. Yeah, I mean you craft offhand embracers. I think boots is another if you're doing like double arcano, it's like bracers boots or shield bracers. There's probably a bracers boots. There's probably a shield from the raid. I mean, you're sending M plus boots and belts. Wait, what are you saying, huh? I am? I'm not. No, I don't have crafted wrist. No, I have the 2-set. I'm cooked. Wait a minute. No, I'm cooked. It's over for me. Uh, I think Wowhead says wrist boots. Wrist boots would be double arcano. Uh, I think Icy Veins has offhand, which kind of makes sense. Let's see, 12.1 elemental shaman guide. Icy Veins has, which if you sim, uh, this guy. If you end up simming, like this offhand is in one of the best in slots with bracers. Crafted bracers, crafted offhand. Obviously crafting offhand is weird, right? It's weird. Like people want, Ele Shamans want their shield, right? Like it's part of the lore. We look cool. We want a shield, whatever. But the problem is this Hunter's Ritual Stone is pretty strong. That's why. You cannot put this on the shield. You cannot put this on the shield. Look, I'll show you. I have a save right here. Look, watch. This is the shield. Spellbreaker's Rebuke. Look at this is Fang. You would put Arcano Weave. Pango, Spore, Lucky Keychain, Devouring, Snakeskin. Bandolier, Sunfire. Yeah, it's not here. But if you go to the offhand, the Lantern, here it is. So that's why people are like, okay, well, next week, you can't coin this guy next week, but in 2 weeks you can coin, try to get the dagger, then you craft the offhand with the stone embellishment, and then craft bracers. Some people want to craft a two-handed staff, but the problem with that is this dagger, even on heroic 6 out of 6, is barely worse than crafting a two-handed weapon. This dagger combined with the offhand. Like the two-hander is just a little bit better. It's just not worth it. What about the shield off Nim? Well, yeah, I mean that's your other option. This guy. Like this is a great shield, right? Like this is a great shield. Your other option would be is you're gonna aim for the dagger off the Abyss guy, get her shield, and then you're left with Arcano Weave on bracers and Arcano Weave on boots, just like Wowhead says, right? So you have options. You can do double Arcano Weave, bracers, boots, or you can craft that offhand, which is a little bit stronger, and an Arcano on wrists. No Ele Shaman should be wasting their coins on anything except Heroic Ulatek. This is the only thing you're coining. Heroic Ulatek. You're gonna coin this for the first 2-3 weeks. Next week, you're probably getting next Tuesday, next clear, you're gonna come to this vault, you're gonna open it up, and you're gonna take the socket. Unless one of these is tier, and it'll give you a 4-piece before the end of the week. Because if you get 4-piece, then you can start collecting catalyst charges. There is some value in that, but ultimately coin is like the best option late game, because we're crafting bracers almost no matter what, and that socket will go right into your bracers. And then the week after that, you're getting a coin, and you're coining Ulatek as resto. And then if you're me, you're gonna get it right away. If you're somebody else, maybe Athenius is gonna get like the neck, right? And then the next week, I will coin the chest. Athenius will get the chest. And then the week after that, Athenius will get the dagger, and I'll get the neck. And then we're good. And then we're good. Are we running 4-set? Yeah, of course. Oh, 5-set? Yeah. So now the way the catalyst works is whenever you catalyst something, it keeps the stats, okay? So off-piece doesn't matter anymore. Like this cloak is haste mastery. When you catalyst it, it's gonna be haste mastery. Same thing is gonna go for tier. Like this is a champion helm with verse mastery. If I turn it into tier, it's verse mastery. So there's no such a thing as off-piece concept anymore. Yeah, you just catalyst the right things, exactly. You can also coin the Coil Curio. What's the Coil Curio? You can roll a tier token. Wait, no shot. Oh no! Actually? Shit. 1 out of 4. We win these. 25%. Either we get it or we don't. Do we want a bonus roll from first vault? You can't. So in a couple of days, you're not allowed to get bonus. Like in this reset, you're not gonna. You cannot get a bonus roll until the 25th, week 2. What do you call this week? Is today week 0? Because it's not week 1. This mythic isn't out. Is today week 1 or week 0? week 0, right? I'm with week 0. Yeah, so week 1, which is next week, you can't get a roll. Week 2, you can get a roll. Yeah, people are saying you can bonus roll the Curio. That's really bad, guys. Now, can an argument be made for coining? No, there's no way. Coining Mythic Lost Explorer, that's gonna happen later. Coin Mythic Lost Explorer for the bag, because the bag is still one of our best trinkets. I'm not coining that. We're only gonna coin Ulatek. Ulatek heroic coins only, baby. Can M0 not give tier in Volt? Yeah, you can. Yeah. All these can give tier. These are all capped. These are all capped at champion. I have to do this. Yeah, I mean historically you've been able to get tier from here, no? Pretty sure. Yeah, I mean last season Dungeon Road could get tier, yeah. So it's always just bad to take mythic pieces from Vault over Rose. Yes. The only exception, Chan, is if you happen to get maybe like your best in slot trinket, right? Like I think this is one of our best in slot trinkets, is it? I don't remember. You can look it up. And then maybe you're doing it. Cuz that will save you a ton of coins. But I one of these two. But I don't know. I don't think so cuz I think these items are just stronger. These items here are just stronger. This dagger, this chest, this neck. You're never taking any of these off, and they'll drop on mythic when you coin. And if you catalyze this chest, it keeps the cantrip or whatever they're called. If you have the veteran crest, you can use to craft the embellishment you want. Oh, this? No, but then no. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, even though it'll take the spark, I can upgrade it later, right? Yeah, I could craft the offhand. I could craft the offhand mythic and then craft a veteran. Yeah, I'll have a socket. Oh, it's annoying though, because this is 289 socket, right? I'll still do it. Yeah, I need the embellishment. I'll have a socket from week 1 though, which is fine. Offhand is 2 sparks. 2. PvP crafts are 292. Ooh. With PvP sockets, that's sweaty. That's sweaty. I'll socket the veteran. I mean, I'll socket the veteran because I'll upgrade it to mythic eventually. And it keeps the socket. No sparks needed for the vet craft? Whoa, really? Wait, that's huge. Timeout. I guess I can't like... Wait, wait, I have to pick I picked the wrong bracers, right? There's probably different kinds. Those are too high eye level. What the hell is this? The blue ones? Warband. No. Is it these? No, that's not it. 295. The non-NG ones. These are 165. Is that the ones? How many do you need? Do you know? 80? Oh, that's why. There's Arcano Weave. And then it would be 80 crests. Yeah, I mean that's probably a good way of doing it. Yeah, the crest will up the eye level, yeah. I mean that's probably what I'm gonna do. To get a second embellishment after the offhand. Does anyone know Mythic Crest Cap? 100? Oh wait. That's a good question. It might be 200 next week. I remember at the start of season 1 it was 200. It's gonna follow the same maximum as these. I think the Mythic cap is 200 next week. I suspect it'll be 200 as well. That's what it was for season 1. I'm like 99% sure. I remember that. Okay, you cannot roll the curio because it's not like Chimeras where it is a slot. Yo, 4 seasons just saved us, Athenius. We're back to 1 out of 3 if we cannot roll the curio. If we get 4 sparks, would make sense to have 200 for 2 crafts. No. Mythic craft. Mythic. Okay, if I craft a mythic offhand, it's not 100 crests, is it? Isn't it just 60? 80. 80. Yeah. So we're gonna have, if we do, yeah, we're gonna have 80 for the offhand. I mean, I think this is, it's almost close to, wait, this is a fucking staff. Hold on, time out. What am I doing? Okay, still 80, yeah. I think this is almost a no-brainer. It's gonna be offhand. No, we had Heroic Week last season. That's why we had Mythic Crest rewards. But this season we don't, so both Heroic and Mythic shout out. No. I think they're gonna go to 200. I've never seen them be different. I've never seen the caps be different. There's no way. I guess you could go on PTR and look at the current season max on PTR. And if they're equal, then we know they'll start at 200. I think it's 200 though. I mean, I think if you want to optimize it, you wait and see if you get a mythic shield. I know, man. Ooh, but then like then it comes down to, well, then if you want to optimize it, you wait till week 2 and see what you get from the vault. Even though you're getting coins from the vault, and then if you wait for week 2, then you might as well re-clear again and see what you get from your coin. And you might as well wait for the vault on week 3, you know? It's such a slippery slope just waiting, you know? Typically, like if you're like in a guild that's pushing for ranking, the instant that you see what Liquid or Echo or Method are doing, people will follow suit. Because usually those guys, they got sims for their sims. They know what they're gonna do, right? No, I appreciate all advice. I open my mind like Neo from the Matrix. Open your mind. I'm gonna release my guide tomorrow, and if there's anything wrong, you guys gotta tell me. Or if I miss anything. They itemize for the first 2-3 weeks. Yeah, which is always maximum power, right? which is what you want. You want that max power. No. They itemize for the first 2-3 weeks, which is always what's going to be what's best. Yeah, I'm recommending for people that don't do raiding at all, including heroic raid, that they craft a two-hander, or if they really care about the shield so much, a one-hander and a shield. If you don't raid, that'll be like your max power spike. It just makes sense. But if you do raid, you're stuck in like a limbo. If you do raid, honestly, you're stuck in limbo. Like even if you kill freaking Nimriza on Mythic, you still gotta upgrade this what 5 times? That's 100 crests for 6 out of 6. Or just spend 80 crests to get a what 334 bis stats with bis embellishment. I think it's offhand every time. I just do not mythic raid. Is it worth to wait to heroic still? Yeah. Even mythic raiders are coining Ulatek on heroic. All mythic raiders, or at least I can only speak for Ele Shaman, are coining Ulatek on heroic. Because this drops on mythic track when you coin these 3. And these 3, you will on mythic, you are never taking it off. This feels bad season not to raid. Yeah, this season is gonna be really bad for the mythic plusers, honestly. So do rerolls in heroic give mythic track gear? Uh, only for the cantrip items. Is that what you say? Cantrip? Is it cantrip or catnip? Catnip. Cat trip. Can't trip. Like you can't fall, can't trip. Main hand dagger from new dungeon isn't even far behind. All items bonus roll from heroic is mythic. So if we bonus roll the first boss and get this dagger, you saying this will be mythic? Oh shit. Yeah, that's awesome actually. Yeah, for Ellie, you go Resto Spec and you coin Heroic Ulatek because all 3 of these items are best in slot on Mythic. So you can't fail, right? That's why people are getting coins from Vault week 2, 3 and possibly 4. Week 2, 3 and 4, everyone's coining these 3 items, I'm pretty sure, cuz you're never taking them off, right? Cuz if you coin these guys to try to get the bag and you don't get it, you're just fucking yourself over. And then the other reason people are not taking loot from the vault is this is just a crazy example, right? But if you take these boots from the vault and then you get to this boss and kill him and coin for the trinket, you can get the fucking boots again. So there's negative value in taking loot from the vault if you can accidentally coin it again. Which is why a solid strategy is when you get your coins, you coin the last boss on Resto 3 times, and you have maximum value. Like, bam, best in slot mythic. Bam, best in slot mythic. Bam, best in slot mythic. You just can't miss. The other, well, no. week 1 you cannot, or god dang it, yeah, week 1 you cannot get a bonus roll, guys. It's only socket. In 2 days for NA, it's only socket, no roll. So in 2 days, you can maybe take tier for 4 set. That's okay, because you're only sacrificing a socket. Okay, that's okay. If the tier is gonna give you 4-piece, I think that's good because you can start collecting catalyst charges. That's fine. Otherwise, take the socket because we are gonna eventually craft bracers, and you can put the socket on the bracers. Fully expecting to see something about loot from the vault knocking items off the bonus roll. I agree with you too, Moots. I hope it's before 0.5 though. Are you sure you cannot take coins and unlock 2 unrolls week 2? Yeah, 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 I'm pretty sure we cannot next week. We cannot take rolls. I think Blizzard made a post about it. Remember that Vial trinket is equal to bag after the nerf? Yeah, bag is still Bisto and Vial, right? Vial's the on use? This guy? Even if the tier set is chess? Well, yeah, because once you get 4-piece, then you have you get the achievement, and then you can, like, whenever you run a dungeon, you just have like a random chance to get more of these charges for free. So then even if you get the chest and that's 4-piece, you're just gonna have a lot of these charges anyway. So if you get the chest from Ulatek, then you just catalyze that chest later, you know? That's why people are saying that it's better to just take the socket. Like, you'll get 4-piece eventually, just take the socket, and then week 2 take the coins, week 3 take the coins, week 4 take the coins. Or the rolls. Oh, Seastone? No, Seastone is strong too. Yeah, Seastone is strong too. Yeah. What is it? Wavecaller Seastone got, yeah, it's up there now. Bag is still slightly better. Seastone is available there. For AoE, bag is still, bag is still better. Dark Moon is weird. It counts as an embellishment, I'm pretty sure. So this isn't showing like that you lose embellishments, right? So that's why Dark Moon is. You see how it says embellished at the top? Now, does that count as 2 embellishments or 1? That trinket, I feel like this counts as 2. It counts as 1? Are you sure? It's saying you can have 2 equipped. Yeah, but I swear that guy logged off. I want to see somebody. Does somebody have their character open right now? That has like a craft? Check your belt. Yeah, my belt says 2, but that's because I have a 2 set. What about somebody that... Fucking PvPer! Oh yeah, they all say 2. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Counts as 1 then. Thank you, Cruiser. What if you upgrade craft 2-handed for 80 crests? Will your 1-handed Mayhem and shield upgrade for free? I think yes. I think yes. I think if you have a 2-handed staff, I think it upgrades the shield for free. Hey, I'm playing WoW for the first time. I finished the campaign. What do I do now to get ready for the next release? Do your map. If you finish the campaign, you should have a bountiful map. So you're gonna do your delves. Push your delves to rank 8. And then at rank 8, enter the delve, use the map, and then get the loot at the end. It's going to be a heroic piece. 305 hero. And then after that, you're going to do your mythic zeros for the week. And that means you're going to find groups for these 8 dungeons. Current season, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dungeons. You're going to do these all on mythic 0 difficulty and collect some more loot. You just go to pre-made groups, go to dungeon, and people will be like M0 Temple, M0 Den, Yo, King's Rest, and then you just sign up and or just post your own group and pick up some people. Try to clear some dungeons. Any M plus items you farm day 1, I'm gonna be everywhere. We're usually day 1 you're taking you're pushing 1 key, and then you just go wherever that key takes you. So in the past seasons, what people did was you do 1 main and 4 alts, and you push the main's key to a plus 11, and then everyone swaps to their mains. You run the plus 11, and when you complete the 11, even if you brick it, then all the mains will all loot a plus 10 key or 11. So then everyone starts with 10 or 11, and then you guys can roll and choose keys that you want. The dungeons that we're gonna want to go to are Altar of Fangs for sure, because it has the trinket. Vial is a good trinket. Murder Row is another one that has a good trinket. The flask. So you want to get one of those 2 on uses. Wait, what? Is there another passive one from the dungeons? Bag is from raid. This is from the raid. Is core? What is this from? Blinding Veil? I mean, this is a good option while you wait for raid. No, Ruby Whelp is awful. Look at this shit, dude. Don't you have to train that stupid little... Remember you have to, like, train the whelp? I remember some weird shit where you have to, like, slash kiss it every 24 hours or something. Remember that? I mean, look, the light core is not that bad. This is a good trinket to have before you hop in the raid to try to get one of these 2. I think it's fine. F that egg? Yeah, F that egg, bro. You have to stand in the light for the bonus? F that core! Wait, you have to stand in the light. Wait. You dance on it, you gotta really stand. Fuck. F that. Delete this. I mean, we have no choice, guys. That's all we got. What else are we running? There's nothing else from dungeons. Double on use? Double on use? No, I don't know. Yo, maybe double on use is not terrible, actually. This with Ascendants, and then use this on your next Ancestral Swiftest Stormkeeper. That might be better than the other fucking garbage ass trinkets until we get... Yeah, just get both these. Just run double on use. Fuck it. F that core, bro. I'm with Cruiser. F that core. I'm not standing still. At least you don't have to solve a puzzle, though. Sometimes you have to, like... Remember you have to, like, collect orbs from a trinket to get the buffs? Standing still is not that bad. As long as the light spawns under you and doesn't spawn, like, over here and you gotta get in it. People on Questioning Epic saying standing in light is not so important. Okay. I mean, there you go. Whose Ghost Wolf is better, guys? Bond or Alpharetta? Which Ghost Wolf? Bond or Alpharetta? I kind of like the OG Ghost Wolf. It looks nice. They both look good. I want to go back to the Fox, though. The Fox had clean animations. The OP part about that light core is multiple beams can spawn on top of you. Oh, I didn't know that. Cannot wait for the guide tomorrow, bro. Tomorrow. I hope it's good, man. What I hate, like, I don't like to release garbage, so I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys like the guide, you know? Fox can't dance. True that. What happened here? Why is this off? What should we do for embellishments? Shield, Hunt. Yeah, Hunt can't go on Shield, so I'm probably going to be crafting offhand with Hunt. And Arcano Weave on wrist. Alternatively, you can do double Arcano Weaves, wrist, and boots. Double Arcano Weave, wrist, and boots is not going to be far behind offhand with Hunt and wrist with Arcano Weave. It's just not going to be that far behind. But the offhand is technically better. How'd you get those tick markers on Maelstrom, Ellesmere UI? Oh, speaking of, let me upload my profile again. One sec. Okay. Let me put this on my weak rows and profiles. Yeah, there's an option in Ellesmere UI for the ticks. If you go to resource and cast bars, scroll down under class resource bar, go to threshold and hash lines, add Ele Shaman, and then at the hash value, you do 60, 90 right here. I took off the recoloring because I feel like the recoloring was like, it was throwing me off. I didn't like it. It was distracting me when it was like changing colors. Like, whoa, what's happening? Guys, you know how to make sparkles bigger? The ones that show up on item NPCs? Like this? These sparkles right here? This is called Ellesmere UI Party Mode. I actually don't know what you're talking about, bro. I'm sorry. Crazy how Ellesmere made Dude, did LVUI die? And if so, why? What happened? I missed a drama. I was not here. What happened? Someone tell me what happened to LVUI. I kind of want to do a dungeon. Bro, Ellesmere's paying you for this advertisement? Yeah, he is. A little bit. Not that much, though. He should be paying me more. Dude, he made a awesome add-on, man. But I bet you that guy is tired, bro. He works so hard. That guy works so hard. Look at him. He's in Uldor. He's in the wrong expansion. Bro. Ah, man, he never replied. I sent him a message, bro. He didn't reply. I don't know, man, what he's doing, but he's got to be so exhausted. The thing about EUI is like he's slowly making all other add-ons obsolete, right? Like bag add-ons, chat add-ons, mini map, friends list, uh, aura buff reminders. He's got fucking quality of life shit in here, so you don't have to have a bunch of other add-ons. Damage meter skins, CDMs. Bro's adding everything, and it uses like no resources. Plates will be the next big one. What's plates? He's optimizing the vehicle button for the add-on. What? What is that? Oh, Platinator. I mean, he has his own unit frames. He's got the nameplates. I wanted to add auction house feature like Auctionator. I'm sure he's probably gonna do that too. He already has the quality of life where it's like where you can filter by current expansion only. That's on by default. Thank God for that. Every time I go to the H, I used to always have to come in here and check this damn thing. Yo, serious though, can I edit damage numbers, scrolling combat text announcement? I don't know, Zero. I'm not sure about scrolling combat text. Combat text size? Show combat damage text? I don't know. Combat text font? Yeah, I'm not sure if this is part of what you're talking about or not, but you can search like all these features here. Like if you're like, does he have bags? Yeah, bags. Can you do multiple bag scale? No. I use Ellesmere nameplates. And then like the cool thing is you can get Ellesmere UI, and if you don't like his nameplates, you can just turn it off and get Platinator. You can turn off his nameplates and just get Platinator. If you don't, if you don't like, I turned off his raid frames because it looked weird to me. I'm already used to the Blizzard default frames. I think the Blizzard default look really nice, but who knows? In the future, maybe I'll turn them on just because Blizzard default frames don't have everything I need. That I might have to turn these on. But yeah, you can turn off stuff that you don't like. If you have a different bag add-on, you can turn off his bags. You could do that with UI. Yeah, but EUI is better, baby. I don't know. I just trust Ellesmere because I know that he's in it for the passion, and I know that he's good at what he does. And he did it. He did it just for the love of the game. He's just like he was just pissed, right? He's like, dude, how can nobody make a fucking UI that stops from me getting all these dumbass errors and having to redo my UI every damn patch? And it's just like he's just like I'll do it myself, and he just fixed all the shitty stuff. Blizzard Legacy template icon size. Wait, what is that? What is that, Soup? What are you talking about? Oh, all you need for party frames? Wait, where is that? Blizzard Legacy template icon size? Where do I find that? Like party frames, legacy. Icon size. Wait, where? Where's icon size? These are the frames that I use. Buff size. All these little icons right here. What about debuffs? Oh, I see. I need to be in a group for that to work, though. Look at this, though. Bam, that's my defenses right here. You guys see I got a tracker for Nature's Guardian? Nature's Guardian is going to be our saving grace, chat. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Where are the worms? Right here, look. So Nature's Guardian, every 30 seconds, when I drop to 35% health, I get healed to full. Watch this, watch this. Ready? Bang, 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 bang. Check this out, check this out. Yo, wait, Alpharettas, that was you with the Ghost Wolf. Have a good night. I like your Ghost Wolf better than mine. Watch, watch. 35%. Boom. Full heal. 30 seconds to my next full heal. So I just kite these guys. Kick that guy. Kite these guys forever, bro. Look at this. 7 seconds. I got the CD again. Wait, I'm actually just kiting these guys forever. Alright, my Nature's Guardian is back. Watch. 35%. Boom. Heal to full. Look at that. It's a crazy nuke heal. It's like if I see myself dying, but I see Nature's Guardian up, I ain't gonna astral shift because I know I'm gonna get full healed. Is there a way I could quickly get your Maelstrom bar? Oh shit. I don't know. Let's look. I use the Ellesmere UI suite. I don't know if I can like export just my. Maybe I can just export just my resource bar. And then you would download Ellesmere resource bars and then you import that. How do we play around it? No. You play around it by holding your one defensive because then you know you have Nature's Guardian up. That's all. Like if I'm in a rot fight and I'm like 50%, 40%, and I feel like I'm dying, but I see NG up, I'm not gonna press that astral shift, right? I'm gonna let this proc first, and then Nature Swift or astral shift after. Will it work in Mythic Plus? I don't know. We'll find out on Tuesday, bro. It works in M0s. I did, Zomos. It's a Mikora. Thick Snoopy did it for me. He gave me the string and it works. Yeah, the default Maelstrom bar sucks. But yeah, someone recommended Sensei resource bar. That's a good one. You could try that one. Temple sucks. I like Altar. I want to try Altar again. Really, really wish. Are you using EUI? Are you going to be able to track your set bonus with Ellesmere? Yes. Yes, because Ellesmere uses CDM, and the CDM already has the tier on there. So if CDM has it, then Ellesmere UI has it. Did you post a string in the Discord? Yes, I did. You need Mikoros. If you have Mikoros, then you can get the string from the Discord. Alter. There better be a portal to the new zone next week. I don't understand why Silvermoon does not have a portal to the new zone. It makes no sense. How do you plan on tracking that sub bonus? That'd be a good set to highlight when story creators have a 2 second. I was brainstorming today, and I had a sound on overcharge, but I think that's the wrong play. I think I need a sound on when I get flowing. I need to track flowing. I need to put a sound on flowing, so when I hear a sound, I know that I have to cast a spell and then spender at least twice. So if I hear a sound, I'm like, okay, I need to cast 2 generators, or actually generator spender, right? So if usually after Ascendance phase you get 2 charges, or after Stormkeeper phase you get 2 charges. So it's like I'm gonna hear a sound, and then I'm gonna say, okay, I have 2 free spenders. I'm gonna Lava Burst spender, or Chain spender, or Lightning Bolt spender. So I think the best way is gonna be to set up an alert on this guy. Use your Astral Shift with the Legacy template. Oh wait. Oh yeah, look, see? That's good. Bang. Bang! Yeah, I set my Hearthstone to the new zone, but can you set your Hearth to the new zone downstairs? Is there a Hearthstone downstairs in the bottom of the new zone? This new zone sucks, by the way. Hate it. You'll see Blessing a Sack on you too. I think I have like a external monitor here somewhere. There's external icons when they go on me here. I think Blizzard has like an external default. Nature's Weak Order work? Yeah, it does. You're missing out on this housing I'm making. Housing isn't out yet. Is it? Wait, it is out. What are you doing? I make custom fountain? Does it give you player power? They managed to make something worse than the mall. It's actually, it would have been fine if this was just a new zone. The whole top part sucks. Or at least let us dragonfly in here and it would be awesome. I think the minute you put on a new zone and people can't dragonfly in it, you instantly start with like a negative aura on your zone. Right? Imagine if we had started being able to dragonfly down these tunnels and dragonfly around here. People would be like, "Holy fuck, this place looks sick," you know? Like you could appreciate like the time they took, but you're just on a fucking ground mount pulling all the trash and you're just like, "Dude, this place sucks." Is your Valera leveled up? No, no, she's like level 20. Your tune is more confident since you're no longer homeless. What? Damp, you like the new zone? No way, Damp. I want to see Arcane Bomb this season. Maybe my 0 to hero would be Arcane Mage. Can you still do solo question mark with a little shitter Valera? I don't know. I'm doing question mark with a group. You just take a full 5-man, kill it, and get the crest. You don't need to level Valera. There's no player power from Delves. Do question mark with a 5-man and you're chilling. Unless you want the achievement to solo question mark. If that's still a thing, then you probably want to level her. I don't know. New zone is mildly annoying. That's how I feel. Yeah. I feel like if mildly annoying is like a 4 on a scale 1 to 10 and terrible is on a 10, I think the new zone's like a 6, yeah. She's useless anyway in question mark, question mark. Yeah, I mean, because you're setting her, you're usually setting her to heals, right? In question mark, question mark. As tank, she just dies. As DPS, she just dies, maybe? Oh, go resto and let her do everything. So if she's 80 and you go resto and you set her to DPS, it might be way better then. Yo, Dr. Tun Tun, hello? Her damage is nerfed in the question mark, last I checked. Oh, that's interesting. You guys remember when Bran, his level was uncapped and some people took it to like D-gen levels? Bran was going off. Where's Mythic?
Five,
Oh
four,
yeah, baby.
3, 2.
Yo, powered
1.
fort. Did I ping it? Power word fortitude. Uh-oh. 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 I have threat. I'm dead. I'm rooted. Am I supposed to get this spelled here? Whoops. That damage is weak, bro. I don't like that. It's a good poison. Wait. Oh, I'm in the build. Yeah, I have it. We got it. This healing debuff on Mythic Plus is gonna be insane. Yeah, you still Ellie Blast, but only one time at the beginning of the pool. Ooh, this is weird. Weird situation we have going on here. After that, your grandmas will maintain it. What are these red guys? Did you see the updated Prowl? Yeah. I had a feeling that it was Earthquake potentially on three targets. I'm like, dude, Ancestor Chain Lightning seems too strong for it not to be Earthquake. And yeah, it was. Oh man, I really wanted to ascend here. I'm doing it. What a terrible ascendance. Oh lord. I should have held it. Everything just died. Insane ascendance. Oh man. No. No.
Ravenous Stomp. Triple
Fresh
shot.
meat.
Triple shot.
Even though I don't have master the elements, I like to play like I do. Just so you don't develop bad habits.
Scavenging.
Dang, my damage sucks.
Triple shot. Triple shot. Regurgitate.
What's this? Oh! Pedals did not cover that in his video.
Ravenous Stomp.
I'm saving CDs. Why am I slow? What is this?
Fresh meat.
Yo, disease! Priest! Help me! Guys, what's the underground area you told me to farm on repeat? I don't know. The Icy Veins guide is updated with the prio. I don't know about Wildhead though. Brother, why are we dying? Why do I just have threat on everything, bro? Somebody save me. Me from myself. Yo, what the nerf MM? Chat. You guys see this? Am I seeing this? Can we get an MM nerf? I'm sending this. That was a bad send. Oh, everything dies too fast. Fucking hunters, nerf that shit. Oh shit. Nerf the hunters. My ascendance is on point. Yo, thank you, man. Adapt. I appreciate that,
Synchronized
dude.
Venom.
Appreciate you.
Toxic Atrophy. Toxic Atrophy. Toxic Atrophy. Burrowing Charge. Venom Jet.
Oh, I'm gonna have CDs for all these snakes. When she splits into
Death Rattle.
snakes, we're going crazy. I actually don't know what to do here. Like, you get sucked in and you just run out? How far? We're going in, boys.
Toxic Atrophy.
What the hell?
Assimilation.
I just pressed CDs for nothing. Alright, so we're nerfing Rogue and we're nerfing Hunter. Am I right? You skipping this? Is this skippable? Oh, GG's. Every time somebody tries to skip something. Do we have to pull the rest now that we're in combat, though? Looks like we do. Alright, we're saving all our stuff. This guy spawns a million ads that I want to save my stuff for. Just to be ethical, you know? They call me Dr. Ethical. Your talents new Mythic Plus in Raid? Yes. When does he spawn the babies? Did he spawn it? Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. No, these guys are patters, man. Everything's dying too fast. I want to be the one who pads. Why are they padding my funnel, man? Why are they padding my funnels? Oh my god. This pull right here is why I think Ellie's gonna be a contender for meta. Because even though we don't have ascendance, we're still strong. I love it. Last season, when you didn't have ascendance, you were just AFK.
Ritual of the Fang.
Why would I invite Shaman if you have Archmage? Because mages... Because you invite both. Dummy. Why would you
Diner.
invite anything else besides Ellie and Archmage? Ain't buff and mastery buff? Yes, please. Wait, I'm supposed to stand in some of this, isn't it? I'm supposed to clear this?
Bone Slicer.
Does this fully clear my debuff?
Bone Slicer.
Send it. Buff Ele Shaman single target. Yo, can they buff single target Ele Shaman? GG, thank you. Isn't it getting late? Wait, where? Here? Yeah, I have work in like 7 hours. Shaman buff is good for 20% melee. Listen, the meta comp is gonna be Ele Shaman, Arcane Mage, Blood Decay, Holy Paladin, and Arms Warrior. That's the meta. What? Yes, what's wrong with that comp? Okay, maybe instead of Arms Warrior, we could do a DH, because DH is OP, right? And the DH will buff the Mage and will buff the Shaman. And the Mage and Shaman will buff the DH. It's so good. Yeah, see, I was right there with you, Synchronical. I was right there with you, bro. Fuck, yeah, Rogues are pretty good too, though. Maybe Rogues can make their own comp. It'll be like Rogue, Warrior, Blood Decay, Mistweaver if they're good. If not, Holy Pally. I don't know what other healer's good actually. And then maybe they can run who would be their final melee? Enhanced Shaman? I don't know if they're that good. What synergizes with them? Windwalker? If Windwalker's good. I heard Pharaoh kind of sucks. Maybe Windwalker if Windwalker's decent. Survival Hunter? Boomkin's also an option, not for that melee comp. What if you ran like Boomkin Ele Mage? They're too squishy. You can't have too many squishies. The healer needs at least 1 DPS that's tanky. Boomkin Mage Lock. No, not enough kicks. No kicks in that comp. Depends on who plays it. I did PTR keys. Chinese elemental shamans were doing disgusting damage. Yeah, but shaman has been nerfed since PTR. Wait, what did you say? Did you click out? Did you click what? How do I fix my fire elite? Does nothing. He just stands there. No, all spells are on autocast. He just looks at mobs. Try specking out of Primal Elementalist and then spec back into it. That should fix it. Let's see. If you summon Fire Elliot, let me see. I gotta go to the dummies. So if you summon Fire Ellie, see that this is like the attack button is blinking. All of these are like they're blinking like it's on auto attack. I'm not getting tooltips for these icons, but this means he's attacking. Oh, he goes away pretty fast. You know any new leveling tech? No. If you find out though, Blink, let me know. After the season starts, I'm doing 0 to hero challenge, and I gotta level something fresh. I'm gonna do a challenge where I level something fresh that I've never played before, and try to get I don't know how much IO, 3k IO, whatever IO is to get hero, 3k. Oh, it worked, like respecking and unspecking, it works. New stat pro for season 2. You want to get like mastery to about 1200. Mastery to about 1200, and then it's going to be crit or haste depending on your sim. You're going to want both crit and haste. Mastery and then crit and haste. I think we're going to get a lot of our crit from the cantrip items, right? Let's haste. There's crit. There's crit. Yeah, you get a lot of haste. We're gonna get a lot of crit from these items, so we're probably gonna want like haste mastery pieces. What are the options? So if I want the biggest challenge, it'll be something I never played before, like melee. So I think it has to be melee for it to be fun. The options are warrior or rogue, probably. DH is an option. I've never played melee at all. Never played DH. Never played rogue. Never played warrior. That's probably the only 3 options. I think playing range might be too easy. Windwalker is an option. And that's it. Maybe DK? Yeah, dude. People were saying go rogue or rogue. I'm seeing lots of rogue. I'm like, dude, I have no clue what I'm doing. None. None. Outlaw rogue would be funny. Oh god, dude. I'm already gonna get cooked, dude. Should I be bong or bung? The thing is, you have to go undercover, so my name cannot get recognized. I usually go offline on BNet. I'll list my own groups, and I put like a privacy cover so chat can't see it, you know. And I hope that chat doesn't apply to help. Honestly, if people from chat applied, that would make it even harder, right? Bung is amazing. uh, Bames John. Are you done streaming? Yeah, dude, I'm done, bro. I got work in like 6.5 hours, 7 hours, guys. Like 7 hours. I'm going full incognito, baby. But yeah, guys, I'll be streaming again tomorrow. And thank you guys for watching. I gotta go to bed. I gotta be a responsible adult. GG's. Love y'all so much. I'm dropping the guide tomorrow, so stay tuned. You guys have a wonderful night. Good day. Peace. Good night, everyone.